Oi. Shuba-duba-dai. This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee. Some people have that wrong philosophy that politicians can save a country. They never try and do it spiritually. And now the system exploding on we. The country in a recession, a big change from the old time religion. Mankind rewriting history in a modern but a bad version. We're living in our final days. Take a look and change your ways. Our beautiful country, going back to slavery days, only a prayer for the land can stop drug violence and crime. A prayer for the land, yes, these are the signs of the end of time. A prayer for the land, the price of living, man, is so high. A prayer for the land, that even the rich like the poor cry. You say you're concerned and care, we country living in fear, but all are we born right here. So let's say a prayer, the Almighty Father will hear. And I say,
get the nation alive.
Heed and body one boy. Shuba-duba-dai. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. Moral standard gone way down the drain. Little children using rum, crack and cocaine. It seems like wicked-itions gone insane, and everyone playing the dirty game. Too much guns and drugs in the country, owned by Tom, Dick and Harry. But if you're wrong, you must pay for it, for the law, no one above it. Put an end to victimization, oppression and segregation. It's not a good thing for this country, so let's try and wipe it out totally with a prayer for the land, of fire and brimstone go burn with it. A prayer for the land, some say they're picking out who should get paid. A prayer for the land, and that's why the prisoners burn down the jail. A prayer for the land, one day it must prevail. Please don't let this country become an next Haiti. No peace, no unity. Bow down humbly, the Almighty will answer it.
You're the Lord, you're alive.
Oh yeah, Dee-dam-ba-dee-bam boy, Shuba-duba-dai. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. They now call we terror paradise island. No longer a country where peace abound. Yes, I used to boast about my land of beauty, the freest nation with democracy. But now we are the capital for drug pushers and money launderers. Shame and scandal is on we, take it state and it's universally. Some blame it on the politicians for the unstabilized conditions. We going from bad to worse, Our blessed country now close, but a prayer for the land will help us to live with other people. A prayer for the land, for that's why the nation in big trouble. A prayer for the land, united we stand, divided we fall. A prayer for the land, citizens answer your duty call. Righteousness exalts the nation. The most I hate poor man depression. So I'm calling on everyone to take a stand. Take heed, listen to my song. Did a bad over boy.
Share the live, share the live.
What? This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee.
Sound of the King Craig. Pray for the land there. Sweet Sugar City, St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm DJ Morrishaw. I'm coming to you live and direct here from the Gaza in the Boogie Down Bronx. As usual, it's winter here in the New York area. Place is very cold, but I'm trying to and bring you some heat and warmth this evening while I'm here getting myself organized for yet another fun-filled evening. Education-wise, looking to be educated by you, the online viewers, and try to bring to you what I'm picking up out there in the communities. Now, before I get into my next segment, I must update you and let you know that this evening I'll be having Queen Singing Jackie joining me at the top of the hour. So I'm going to leave her songs. We're going to drop them this evening. We're going to expose my former teacher. I just love my teacher, Queen Singing Jackie. So folks, there's a lot that have been happening over the past couple of days, and it seems as though as the days continue, our people find ways to create havoc amongst each other instead of showing the love that God has put us here to show our brothers and sisters. There has been a lot of deaths, young deaths, accidents, cancer, mothers are dying in childbirth, all kind of stuff that is happening. But yet, we still find time to do damage instead of try to be nice and do the right thing. I want to say good evening and condolences to the family of Leonie. Sister Lida, I understand, transitioned last weekend sometime, and I really have to shed some love for her and the crew there, the Breakaway Brass crew. I know that you guys had a lovely thing going there with Sister Leonie. She's one of the big deal. I want to big up my boy, their brother, Sebastian Williams. Hope all is well with you, my brother there, brother Austin Williams as well, Laura Williams. Hope all is well with you guys. Here at the New York front, I think everything is going irie. Everything is going okay. I want to big up my boy Carbo. Carbo, they over in Fountain, Nevis. Carbo, if you're on, don't forget to drop in that link for your place there in Fountain, Carbo's place. Lovely goat water, lovely fish and fungi and all that good stuff that you folks that will be visiting for Sugar Mass 52. Hope that you guys take a ride across there and check out my boy Carbo, because Carbo definitely have some lovely delicatessens over there to eat. I want to say good evening also to Sister Ann Farrell Smith. Hope all is well with you. Thanks for your accommodation earlier. I also want to big up my boy there, brother Ken Phipps, hard-working mechanic, doing some work there and my vehicle at the moment. I appreciate you, brother. I also want to big up Sister Hazel Claxton. Hope all is well with you as well. Sister Rosita Pontin, Beverly Morrishaw, Daly Keynes Basu, and Co. Um, in the last couple of days, a lot has been taking place. But the sweetest one for me, I received a WhatsApp last night with someone in St. Kitts updating me that the rag paper there in St. Kitts, the St. Kitts Nevis Times, is at it again. And I want to thank them for continuing to promote JefroyMorrishaw, you know, because I don't understand for the life of me. Anyone that listens to this program weekly knows that I have been speaking about the good work that the new Labour administration is doing in St. Kitts. However, I have been speaking to the people of Nevis to get up off the backside and go out there and do some demonstration on Nevis, try to bring Premier Brantley in order, in line. But somebody sight fit over there at that rag paper. I think it's my boy Wally, you know, but Wally, we're going to talk when I come down to the Federation, man. Don't worry. We're going to have a good conversation. We're going to have a drink. We're going to have a talk. But Wally sight fit to put a video together saying that I'm calling my army against Dr. Terence. My good people, for the record, right? Let's start off on the right track. Dr. Joe is very accessible where I am concerned. I cannot speak for everybody else. I only can speak for myself. And as I question Dr. Joe's decisions and how he's doing certain things, he have pointed out to me what he's doing and his plans and whatever. And I always hear this saying that Rome did not build in a day, and we elect a government to do something different to what was there. And we have to give them the time to do that. 14, 16 months has passed, yes, and I have questioned a few things. One of mainly the lack of visiting Nevis in a town hall meeting setting by now. I think that should have been done already, and I will continue to champion that cause. But the Labour administration have done a lot. And as I said previously on other shows, before the end of the year, I will highlight some of those good things that the Labour Party has done, because I have my folder. I am keeping stats. And definitely, they have outdone the former administration in a matter of months compared to the damage that was done in 7 years. But for your people out there that believe that you all can give JefroyMorrishaw dung basket to carry water, I want to tell you all something. I'm a born survivor. I was born to survive. That's why God have me here still. My mother died at 52, the age of 52. Had a brother die, I think it was about the age of 15. My closest brother at the time to me died at the age of 51, just back in 2015. I am still here. I am doing okay. So for all your haters out there and who might want to cause problems, I'm going to drop this track for you. And I'm going to show you the love, because I'm a born survivor. So take a listen to Brother Gypsy.
What can be worse than a 10-year-old on the cold beach of my arrow, with just the surf and the sand, a dream and a plan and no promise of tomorrow? Hungry belly cry, trouble way bye-bye, and at that age you think life is cold. But there is nowhere to know, cause it never would show. It's all for this dungeon called the world. But I'm a born survivor. Hey, I can smile through all my adversities and laugh when their guns are trained at me, taking life one day at a time.
Get alive, shut alive!
Cause I'm sure as the night must bring the dawn, this life of mine would still go on, and youth might know they connive in their web of strife. I'm staying alive. I'm born to survive.
Yeah, man! Get alive, shut alive! A born survivor.
There have been times gone by when I watch mama cry and I know daddy hurt inside. Though he worked like a man, did all that he can, but somehow he just couldn't provide all the things that we need, but somehow we succeed. Those were real trying times indeed. But then I couldn't understand that that was part of the plan that would make me a much stronger man. And I'm a born survivor, yes. I can smile through all my adversities and laugh when their guns are trained at me, taking life one day at a time. Cause I'm sure as the night must bring the dawn, this life of mine would still go on. And those mind how they connive, spin their web of strife. I'm staying alive.
Oh yeah.
I'm born to survive.
I'm a born survivor. Love you, love you. Love every time. You're alive, you're alive.
Yes, I worked to the bone, felt so all alone in places I didn't know so well. Abuse and misuse, that was nothing I chose. Sure, those conditions felt like hell. But hard work do pay, now things are not that way. But success do present indeed. And although I've done the wrong, you should hear evil tongue wagging with envy to bring me down. But I'm a born survivor. I can smile through all my adversities, but I laugh when your guns are trained at me, taking life one day at a time.
Oh yeah.
Cause I'm sure as the night must bring the dawn, this life of mine must still go on. In my home they connive, in their web of strife. I'm staying alive, I'm born to survive. I cannot hide, yes it hurts down inside, cause there's blood running through my vein. And when the things people say sure gets in your way, and there's no truth, it causes you pain. And when the good that you do just never shine through, you wear a smile and you do some more. Cause although hate knows no bounds, but love makes you strong, and for your good your reward is sure. And I'm a born survivor, yes. I can smile through all my adversities, brother, I laugh when your guns are trained at me, taking life one day at a time. Cause I'm sure as the night must bring the dawn, this life of mine would still go on. And don't mind how they connive, spin their web of strife. I'm staying alive.
Oh yeah.
I'm born to survive.
Born survivor.
Yes, I was born. I was born. I was born. Born to survive. I was born. Yes, I was born. I was born.
Yeah, brother Wally. So no matter what you all do, they with your rag paper and try to mince my word and twist my words, put that in your next clip. DJ Morrishaw is a born survivor, and DJ Morrishaw is in full support of Dr. Joe and his new Labour administration. They are doing a very good job, and I will continue to be observant and hold the foot to the fire. And like you guys who support the farmer administration with all of their wrong, all of their corruption, and all of their mess, DJ Morrishaw not going to do that. I will speak truth to power at every time, every chance I get. Want to big up my engineer there, the man, brother Ike. Welcome back. I understand you was traveling overseas, having a good time there. Hope all is well with you. I want to say good evening to the man, Elvin Ellie. How are you doing? How is the wife? Also want to big up my boy there, brother Ivan Henry, over there in the Florida area. How about the man Eustace Hendrickson over there in the Houston area? Hope all is well. Brother Vernon Benders there in the Jersey area. The King of Nero, the man King of Limat, hope you're getting ready for Carnival. Hope all is well. I wonder if them boys going to give you a ride down to St. Kitts to be a part of Sugar Mars 52. You know, lot of talk when some of them was campaigning, you know, what they're going to do for the King and Lee. And the farmer administration getting the promise him house, land, and car, didn't deliver anything. Well, I know for sure that this government did not promise anything, but I would hope that they consider keeping the maestro in their thoughts and in their prayers. Yes, I understand that there's some debts there and Nevis as well, a good friend of mine. I'm not sure, so I don't want to announce it until I am sure, but I understand that a young gentleman there from St. Paul's who lives in Nevis, there's something going on with him. But you know, another debt that got to me this week. During the service for Stanley Franks a few weeks back, I could not really take on the stress in the church and the pressure, thinking about how quick Stanley Franks departed from us. And I step outside of the church and ask someone if they could point me in the direction of a bar where I can get some spirits. And they point me up College Street, got on a veranda right across the road, not far from the church. A gentleman, I only know him as the Red Cap at the airport. I never knew his name. I just know him as the Red Cap. And we stopped there and had a few chat, a few drinks, and had a good time. You know, he even offered me food and stuff, but I really wasn't in any mood to eat. So a few people came by and we stopped there and we enjoyed the funeral from a distance, had a few drinks. And I promised this gentleman that I was traveling in a few days, but when I come back, I definitely have to come back there and hang with him because he gave me such a good time. Lighten the load, take my mind off Stanley Franks. And then I'm seeing something popping up on social media saying this gentleman died a few days ago from a little motorcycle or whatever accident. Well, you know, the problem I have in St. Kitts Nevis, have a serious problem with our media houses, especially the rock paper, St. Kitts Nevis Time, and I realize that Freedom FM run the same news item. You guys have to be more responsible, you know. Whether it is the police force putting out the information or where you are getting it from, you all have to be more responsible with people's private information. If there was an accident and someone passed away, whether it was 0.0 or 0.2 alcohol, whether it was from Viagra, whatever they died from, how does this information make it into the social media platform or into the newspapers? You guys don't have any respect for people's privacy? Just a few weeks ago, you all attacked the Minister of Tourism, who was hospitalized. When are we in St. Kitts Nevis going to be more responsible and start respecting people and people's privacy? You all remember there was a song back in the days, what happened in the party, stay in the party? So we are bringing everything out of the party. How could someone walk into, whether it's a clinic, a hospital, or whatever office in our beloved federation, whether you go to the business or the lawyer office, or wherever you go, how can people information just from 1 minute, it's there, and it end up in social media, or circulating the whole world? I am calling on the powers that be. Honorable Prime Minister, AG, God Wilkin, I see you guys putting all kind of things in Parliament, making laws. We need to really enforce the HIPAA law in our beloved federation. We need to hold people responsible who is going to be bringing out people private information from these health facilities. People get to work in these health facilities, whether it's a clinic, whether it's a hospital, wherever you are. You need to stop running out your mouth on people business. You're there to do a job. Do your job, and when you go home, that's it. You know, we all need to cut it out. But before I get into the next segment, because you guys are not going right across to our sister island, Queen City Nevis, this evening. So before I go across there to have a conversation with Premier Brantley, let me just drop this commentary from G.A. Dwyer Astafan. He's saying that this is his final commentary for the year. I wonder if Dwyer the year having 12 months. This is November. And commentaries must be from January to December. But anyway, Brother Dwyer Astafan, I appreciate your service. I appreciate your commentaries over the last couple of months. And many of them you were spot on, bang on, as my partner Shabby would say. But let's take a quick listen and we'll come back to the program. Stand by.
Greetings. This will be my last commentary for the year, and God willing, we shall see what January brings. Today, I'm reflecting on a few matters. Here's one. A lot of us will be doing Christmas and Carnival shopping, and you know that the sharpshooters will not miss out on an opportunity to dollarize every occasion, whether that occasion be spiritual, religious, cultural, or otherwise. And there never seems to be a shortage of people who are willing to wake up the next morning without enough money to take care of their children and to pay their bills. Yes, some of us live in December as if January will never come, maybe expecting that the government or a politician or a sugar daddy or a sugar mommy will give us something, or some super generous soul will lend us money which we will never repay. Life is short and we must enjoy it, but we must also be responsible. And although we need each other, we have to do our best not to unnecessarily and unfairly burden others. So this past weekend, I heard businesses promoting sales with discounts of 25%, 35%, even up to 75%. I can understand 75% discounts on goods that have been on the shelves for a long time. And rather than throwing them out, businesses might be trying to get back something on their investment. But serious consideration has to be given to the quality of goods that are priced at 75% discounts and the terms under which these goods will be sold. Except, of course, if those goods might have been grossly overpriced in the first place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not accusing any business owner of wrongdoing. Rather, I'm encouraging them to be caring and not to be greedy. I'm encouraging them to do all that they can to preserve and promote their goodwill with the public by providing consistently good quality products and, of course, service, and to price their goods and services fairly. And, of course, I'm also encouraging consumers to be cautious. Look at this as one of my ways of wishing one and all, sellers and buyers, worshippers and abstainers, revelers and spectators, a happy but caring and careful Christmas and Carnival. And you have to be cautious when you're spending your money. You have to be cautious. For example, certain electronic and other items have codes on them which indicate their year of manufacture. You may not be acquainted with these codes. You could end up buying an item which was manufactured 2 to 3 years or more ago. An item which can't be sold in North America or Japan or China or Europe, but it can reach here and reach your home. You may buy it unsuspectingly believing that you're buying something new. So you must ask a question. We cannot allow our country, our homes, our bodies to be used as dumping grounds for goods that cannot be sold in the north and in the east. Certainly, when it comes to perishables, we should not buy anything that is expired. And if you see expired goods being displayed, report the matter to management and insist that they remove the items from display. And if they don't, report the matter to the Ministry of Consumer Affairs and, in a responsible manner, caution your friends. Gone must be the days when we allow businesses to be so arrogant, disrespectful and uncaring as to sell us expired and unhealthy and inferior products. And gone must be the days when government recklessly and conspiringly allows this to happen. Just weeks ago, the Dr. Terence Drew administration went to Parliament to strengthen consumer protection. That is good. The law must now be unflinchingly administered and enforced. Our standards must be at least as high as anybody else's. Indeed, our environment and traditional lifestyle generally allow for us to be naturally healthier, but we are not doing what we should be doing. Instead, we are digging our own graves, physically and culturally, eating and allowing our children to eat and drink all of this imported food, and generally to swallow this imported garbage lifestyle and culture. I don't know why some of us believe that we have to mimic other failed and failing cultures in order to feel like we're somebody. If we are not ourselves and the best ourselves that we can be individually and culturally, then we are nobody. I can't be you, you can't be me, and we can't be them. Remember that. Yet so many of us seem to be trying so hard to escape from who we are in the effort to be clones of them. You can't be who you aren't. Copycatism and plagiarism lead us to extinction, not to distinction. Seems that some of us would prefer to buy and wear a costume created by outside people rather than encouraging our own people's creativity. Do we prefer to be mini Trinis rather than maxi kitties? Now, I am no expert in carnival and costumes and all of that stuff, but I believe that greater emphasis can be placed on the development and expression of the creativity of our people, so that our carnival can be more of an expression of ourselves and our interpretation of the themes which represent in song or costume or in any other artistic way, and giving ourselves the uniqueness and distinctiveness of our own brand. Encouragingly, I hear that there are some local creatives who are exactly on that wavelength. Who knows? If we help them, this thing could become an industry, generating year-round work for a number of people here. Remember, we as people and as a nation, when called upon, have always been able to punch above our weight. So in all areas of positivity, we must call on ourselves to punch above our weight in all areas of positivity. But there are other matters which I wish to share with you. So let's go back to sales. If whether on Black Friday or Valentine's Day or Easter or Christmas Eve or VAT reduction day, businesses can sell us what they claim to be a good quality item at 25 or 35% discount. And make no mistake, when they sell you at these discounts, they still make a decent profit. If they can sell you these things on those specified days at a 25 or 35% discount, why can't they sell you the item at the same so-called discount year round? They would still make a good profit. Less profit per item sold, but a good profit. And more likely, larger volume. More money in people's hands, more disposable income, and more sales activity, more jobs, more economic activity. Everybody would be happier, including our business community, except those, if among them there are any, who are so singularly governed by greed and profit that they miss out on the benefits to the whole country, themselves included, if they would only price their goods more reasonably and fairly. And I wonder how many of us consider that just as higher wages and salaries can raise the cost of running business, so too can higher prices increase the need for raising wages and salaries. Some businesses would probably tell the government that raising the minimum wage, whether to $500 a week or less, is a bad thing, but they might not want to consider cutting their profit margins. The business sector in this country, I say so with the greatest respect, has gotten a relatively easy ride for years because successive administrations have not been big fans of workers unionizing and have not been robust protectors of consumers. There has been a long-standing perception of government and business, as we say, holding one head and leaving workers and consumers out in the cold. A most horrific recent example was the no vax, no job COVID policy that businesses were allowed to impose on workers. They were allowed to get away with dismissing workers who refused to be vaccinated, while they opened their doors to the public to come in and spend their money, as if only workers could catch and transmit the COVID. In my opinion, which I don't think counts for that much anyway, but I'll still express it, in my opinion, that policy could not be based on reasonable scientific grounds. That's my opinion. And with the perception and all of that, or even notwithstanding it, you must appreciate the importance of unions and workers trusting each other. I'm not an advocate for divisiveness or disruption. So when we are at the point where workers trust employers more than they trust each other, when workers will gang up on each other in order to curry favor for themselves with the boss or to otherwise hurt a co-worker, and when workers are mortally afraid of getting their hours cut or of losing their jobs, all that are being taken advantage of, and they know they're being taken advantage of, then we have problems. I know of cases of workers who put in 50, 60 hours a week, get paid for 40, they feel helpless, they don't feel there's an alternative. When we see these things going on, and have been going on for years, then we do not really live in a free society. If a boss tells a worker that she is free to take or not to take the vaccine, but if she does not take the vaccine, she will be fired, then she's not free. She has a mortgage, a car note, children to feed, and other bills to pay. So she yields unwillingly and fearfully in the face of this cruel ultimatum. That's not freedom. That's not respect. That's not reasonable. That's not fair. If a boss tells a worker that he's free to join a union, but that if he does so, there will be staff cutting, etc., then we are not free. Not to mention the fact that any employer doing that is in breach of international standards to which this country has signed. Plus, we have a constitution which guarantees our freedom to do these things. But who has been paying attention to the constitution? Who has been giving voice to it? We're hearing something developing in recent times, looking forward and expecting things to be better in terms of defending and promoting people's constitutional rights. In the opinion of some people, COVID was used as a weapon against the workers, and of course, as a political weapon. Workers and consumers struggled, and many failed to feed and shelter their families, and the emotional and mental suffering of the victims of that weaponization, and the consequences of all of that for all of us in this country will last for a long time to come. Now, I've spoken about unions quite a bit in this commentary. Other than what seems to be a dormant teachers' union, there is also the St. Kitts Nevis Trades and Labour Union, which is a sister organization of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. The truth is that the realities of the relationship between union and party have hurt the union and workers. It doesn't have to be the case, but it has been. People who are old enough have a hesitancy about the union, while many young people don't even know about it or about unions, period. Workers are better off when they belong to a responsible union. So we need the St. Kitts Nevis Trades and Labour Union to demonstrate that it is responsible, that it is not a puppet of the Labour Party, and that it has a vibrancy and energy and a capability to provide a safe haven for our many troubled workers. The breakdown in the union, in my opinion, is related to the breakdown of values and community in this country. The workers need a safe haven for them and their families, and an institution that can bring balance and equity, not just to the workplace, but to the market and the society as a whole. Things cannot continue as they are. I will end now by saying, until next year, God willing, please be peaceful and careful.
Yes, that's the commentary for G.A. Dwyer Astafan for today, Wednesday, November 29th, the final Wednesday of November. And as Dwyer says, that would be his final commentary for the year. Again, I want to thank him for his commentaries throughout the year. Very powerful. And Brother Dwyer, you have said a lot in that commentary, and I don't have the time to really go through it bit by bit. But I will say to the people online that you made a statement about the situation with the COVID. That is where our relationship started. Because while I was in quarantine and giving updates on what I see was taking place, and it was very clear that the former administration, led by Timothy Harris, as Prime Minister, they didn't care about nationals at overseas. Basically, he tell us go out, tap out. He didn't care about us out here in the diaspora. And he also made it clear when we come in, the requirements for nationals to come into St. Kitts Nevis. And what were the requirements? You must test, a PCR test must be taken 72 hours in advance. It must be negative. You must submit that results along with your documents to the online portal to get approval to enter the Federation. Without that letter, nationals such as myself could not board an aircraft, whether from Miami or JFK or any part of the world that the flight is heading into St. Kitts Nevis, without that approval letter. Many of us went through that. Many people was left stranded, cost thousands of dollars, missing their flights because of those rules. But during my stay at the Royal St. Kitts, I realized that that rule was not across the board for everybody. There was people getting special treatments because I spoke with individuals who had those experiences. One individual said to me his daughter test positive, but with one phone call, she was allowed to board a plane and came into St. Kitts. These are things that I know for a fact. I got into St. Kitts on a Saturday. Arrived at RLB. I was told that since I'm fully vaccinated, my quarantine time would be 9 days. When I got to Nevis, they told me it's 14. I told them, well, they told me in St. Kitts is 9 days. They said, well, it's 14 days. St. Kitts cannot tell us how to run our business over here. But it was a federal government. So why was it one rule for St. Kitts and one rule for Nevis? I don't know. But they get a wake-up call in their ass. Because while I came in on the Saturday, and they decided to lash me with a 14 days quarantine, there was a gentleman came in from Argentina, fully loaded with the COVID. And he was allowed to bring it in our communities in St. Kitts. Hundreds caught COVID, community transmission. He was supposed to be number 46, but they tried to put the blame on a young lady from Sadler's. So they say he was 47, she gave it to him, and he was 46. It's only after the tracing they realized it was the other way around. He was 46 and she was 47. And it went on and on and on. So that is where Dwyer and I relationship really start, because he heard me on the various radio station, Win FM, Freedom FM, talking about the things. Because Sakwati interviewed me on Freedom and Win FM. The big JL had me interviewed by Brother Andre Huey and Freedom FM. And I present the facts and show what they were doing was wrong. I can recall the Honorable Denzel Douglas, Foreign Minister now, saw me one day in town and said to me, Mr. Morrishaw, That was a great advice that you give to the government. But I wasn't taking advice from people like me because, as one person said, where did I get my PhD? But if they do a proper check, instead of out creating problems, they would find out that this gentleman have more information than a lot of those people who try and they fake papers all over the place. Some of them people take exam for them to pass, but I did all my exam on my own. And when I hit 100% in my mark, in my grades, it's real 100%. Nobody give me no favor. Nobody take no test for me. My presentation that I does across America when it comes to healthcare training, I do it with pride. I love to know I'm representing the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis at every time. And who don't like it is tough. Dwyer spoke about unions. Again, in that regard, I am not the same person that left St. Kitts Nevis 40-something years ago. When I left there, I don't have a clue about union. Don't even know the difference about the bird and the bees at the time. Only at the age of 15 when I left there. But I came to North America, came to New York, get caught up in one of the biggest labor union here in the New York metropolitan area, 1199 and the SCIU union. And they see the talent that I had. And they harnessed me and they sent me across the entire country doing trainings and learning and doing tune-ups. So the end result is that I am pro-union, I'm pro-management, but I'm also pro-labor. So I'm very level-headed when it comes to dealing with issues. This is why I can come here Wednesday after Wednesday and sit and talk about the happenings in St. Kitts Nevis. I can speak about the wrong, I can speak about the right. And I will continue to deal with Premier Brantley until he do right. Because the Premier Brantley that I met, he was not Premier at the time. His good friend, my vice president for Morrishaw Sports Club, Melvin Herbert, brought Premier Brantley at the time, Mark Brantley, to Van Cortlandt Park where we play cricket. There was a division team in the park. As a matter of fact, there was 2 division teams. There was an Wally cricket team, which is divisions, and there was a Nevis All-Star that started by Glendale Herbert. So there was a good squad of people from Nevis at Van Cortlandt Park, and they brought him there. He was well received. I received him well. Well-mannered, well-spoken, well-dressed. I figure, boy, good, we got a young person that's ready for prime time that will take Nevis to higher heights. So I supported him. I met his sisters and whatever. Nice family. I supported them. But of late, after Vance Emery, God bless his soul, gave me some insight on what was going on with Mark Brantley and what Mark Brantley was doing to him, I started paying attention. I started asking questions. I go to town hall meetings and I ask questions. While Mark Brantley is now Premier, and I follow all of his lies. And I fact check him. And this is where the breakdown comes. I don't hate Mark Brantley. I love the gentleman as a human being, but he's the worst politician. He's the worst thing Nevis have ever seen in terms of a politician. From one lie after other. And if it's not bad enough that all of these projects that have started and not complete, he even now going into trying to destroy what was put in place in the Constitution and in the NIA Assembly, amending things that don't need to touch. He just needs to do the right thing. Instead of him fixing the faucet, he destroying the faucet, so you're going to get water when time comes. You cannot just turn off the water and leave it there. If there's a leak, you fix the leak, Premier Brantley. And if you do not know how to do it, DJ Morrishaw can tell you how. We got to be sensible about these things. And then we got some people in Nevis. Tonight I'm going to talk to my boy, Carlisle Powell, you know. My boy, Kelvin Daly. My boy, Tulu. my boy Henry Daniel, and anyone else who going to tell me that they was happy that Patricia Bartlett, a candidate for Nevis that won in the last election, they was happy that she showed up down at the NIA Assembly for the second reading of those amendments by herself. And any one of you are going to come tell me that you are serious about this thing, you all need some bull bud in your ass. How are we going to make sense that this man is destroying Nevis? You guys come on your program week after week after week, and you all are prosecuting him well because you guys have the facts. But time to put boots on the ground, you all stay home. And I'm going to hear bullshit about, oh, I wish Pat had told me she was going down there. That is bullshit. That does not make sense. Carlisle Powell, as the chairman of the NRP, you should be the first one down there. You should be, you have your program weekly. You should be mobilizing people to go down there. Pat should not have to tell you he's going down to the NIA to stand up. All of you have to wake up, man, wake up. No disrespect, but JefroyMorrishaw calling an audio. Wake up. If you guys going to continue just talk week after week on your program and don't do no political action, the boots on the ground, what Mark have to worry about? What Premier Bank have to worry about? Man, let it talk, ignore the noise. That's Islam. Let it talk, ignore the noise. Now I hear me boy Kelvin is saying, he waiting for them to gazette. This thing should not be gazetted. It's illegal. The people of Nevis need to stand up. They're not going to stand up on their own. You, Janice Daniel Hodge, as the leader of the NRP, you have to mobilize the people. Don't come and tell JefroyMorrishaw, oh, Nevis people don't operate like that. Bullshit. If they don't operate like that, you show them that the times has changed. It's gonna be business as usual. Whatever they was accustomed to doing back then, there was people back then who had a conscience. People like, I understand, Simeon Daniel, Premier Parry, Premier Amway, they had a conscience. This Premier Mark Bante does not have any conscience. He will not stop until you stop him. So the division have to understand this is new days. It's time to get up off your behind and do your all work. Whenever the assembly taking place again, I'm appealing to you all divisions. And if nobody else down there for the budget, if no one else show up down at the NIA assembly for the budget, I am expecting to see Carlisle Powell, Kelvin Daly, my boy Tulu, my boy Henry Daniel, Pat, J.D. Keynes, Rowan Isles, all of you who say you all want to run for office to represent Nevis, get all your backside down there and stand up outside. Stand and be counted. That is what it's about. Stand up and be counted. Don't come tell me about you wish Pat had invite you. That is bullshit. That is unacceptable. I will not accept that from none of you. So tonight, tonight I'm going to go straight across to the sister island Nevis because I got to deal with Premier Brantley. And I'm going to have to take a little break, because my teacher going to come and do she release something. And I love when I have my teacher here with me. But just before I do that, let me start off with this one.
Good morning, Mr. Premier. Elke Hewlett.
Good morning.
The Department of Information. There was a resolution on geothermal development in Nevis passed in the National Assembly on Monday, I think it was. And in some corners, it's been said that the federal government is taking over the project. Can you bring some context to what transpired in the National Assembly? Second question, can you explain the reason behind the amendment to the Integrity in Public Life Ordinance, as the opposition is claiming the amendment is unconstitutional? We are also seeing an upsurge in homicides, especially gun-related homicides and armed robberies in the Federation. While it's largely been localized to St. Kitts, would you say there's cause for concern on Nevis, and how does this affect the Federation on a whole? Finally, public servants in both St. Kitts and Nevis have been on double salary watch, I think, for the past few weeks. And if the federal government does not pay a double salary, is the NIA in a position to do so for those hard-working public servants over here on Nevis? Thanks.
Double salary for hard-working public servants. If we could only give it to the hard-working public servants, then I would say yes. Fortunately, the way it's structured is the hard workers get it, and those who don't do any work at all get it as well, and that is a problem that I've always had. I'm not so sure why we're on double salary watch. I think that we should be on our salary watch. That is the salary we work for. What I can tell you, you can watch in Nevis is a pay increase that is going to come in January. A 5% salary increase that was promised. It's the last tranche in the 15% increase that we have offered. And I feel very proud about that we made that commitment and we're keeping that commitment. So every public worker in Nevis is going to see a 5% increase in their salary on January 1st, being the last tranche, the last piece of the promised 15%. So I think in Nevis, we, as a government, have done well by our public servants, because nowhere else in the private sector or elsewhere has there been a 15% salary increase in the last 2 years. We have done that in Nevis, and we have made the provision, and will make the provision in this budget for that increase to take effect in January. Double salary, no. The NIA will not be paying a double salary unless one is announced in St. Kitts. And I believe I have made my views known on this double salary. I think that it is not the best approach. It's my position. I may be alone in that position, but I don't think it's the best approach. I feel that what we need is an approach that rewards those workers who do well, those workers who come to work, those workers who work hard. I see my friends here from NTV. I know you all work hard to reward those. There are other workers who don't do any work, and we shouldn't pretend that we don't know. You go downtown now at this time, after 11, you'll find some down there right now drinking. You will. Some supposed to go lunch for an hour, they take an hour and a half, they take 2. They come late in the morning, they take extra time for lunch, and they leave early in the afternoon. Why should they get a double salary? What are we celebrating when we give them a double salary? So to me, what we need is a system based on incentivizing and rewarding. So when a worker who's not working well sees his colleague getting a benefit because the colleague is on time, the colleague is professional, he then says, well, let me pull up my socks. But if that worker who's doing no work is getting the same benefit as the worker who's working hard, you know what that leads to? The worker who's working hard says, well, I'm not going to work any hard either. I'm not going to bother. Because what I realize happening in this department is no matter who work and who don't work, everybody get the same reward.
You know something, Premier Brantley, if it's one thing we could agree on is this particular subject that you're on, you know. I have seen it for myself, that there are some people that either not doing their work, are undermining their colleagues, or just don't have any interest, are sabotaging government. But when time comes for double salary, they get it. So you and I is on a level with that part of it. Where I am having issue with you, Premier Brantley, is you fall in the same bracket, you know. If you were being paid for your performance, Brother Brantley, you wouldn't be getting a salary, you know. You will be owing the people of Nevis. You will be owing the treasury your 2 salary you get monthly. And them double, you will owe double that back to the people. Because look at what's happening in Nevis. Look at what is happening in Nevis. Right in our face there. Anybody can walk in Charleston, go up toward the Alexandria Hospital. It's in your records at the NIA. On the Premier Armory. That expansion wing started at 6 million, you know. 6 million. In 2017, it quickly went to 17 or 19 million, somewhere up there, to be completed in 24 months. So it started in 2017. It should be completed in 2019. 2019 come, we know what the deal is. 2020 come, we know what the deal is. Stimulus after stimulus was released by the farm administration, which he was a part of. It was a tri-party administration. The People's Action Movement, PAM, led by Sean Richards. The Concerned Citizen Movements led by you, Premier Brantley. And the People's Labour Party led by the former Prime Minister Timothy Harris. Or you stop there and just create havoc after havoc after havoc for the citizens. But in the meantime, that hospital wing was going nowhere. It was not going anywhere. And if I'm to play the clips tonight of all the excuses that you presented why the hospital wing is not finished, I'll be here until tomorrow afternoon. I don't have the time tonight to do it. And Ivor Henry will be happy for the overtime, but I don't have the time for it. Not this evening. But the vexing thing about it is, the people of Nevis, they sit back and they accept your inactivities. You're not doing a good job. And they reward you. That some of them defend you. But you're telling them now that they're not doing a good job, so they don't deserve no double salary, if they deserve a salary at all. You're telling them that, but they look at you not doing a good job, if any at all. And they accept your bullshit, Premier Brantley. This is where my problem is. From 2017, that hospital wing start. We are now in 2023. And you are saying that nothing gonna happen before 2024. And in one of your broadcasts, you're talking about a significant amount of money is going to be approved because this is going to be your singular project for 2024. This should be enough to take you out of office. If Carlisle Powell, Kelvin Daly, Tulu, Henry Daniel, Sister Janice Daniel Hodge, and all of those people who said that they want to see an NRP government would put their ass on the street and let the people know we mean business, there will be election in 2024. That is what will be the big picture for 2024. Not no project, not no budget. And I'm calling on them to get up off the backside and do the work. Come budget day, the 5th of December, I understand. They need to be down there with the placards. And any amount of money they're talking about you're going to approve at this stage of the game for that hospital wing must be the nail in the coffin to get your ass out of government. Enough is enough. For the last couple of months is one from one story to the next, to the next, to the next. And these people sitting there. Come on, Janice Daniel Hodge. Come on. I have talked quietly. I'm going to speak loud now. As loud as possible. You all need to get up off your all backside and deal with the matter differently. So let's continue listening to Mark.
So we need to rethink this approach about double salary. That's my view. And we need to find a way where we have evaluations done. And at the end of the year, we say these are the top performers, they get something. If you're not performing, better luck next year. Pull up your socks. But this thing of giving everybody, I think, works ultimately as a disincentive for those workers who are really committed to the task at hand. I don't know what the Prime Minister is going to do. That is a matter for him, no doubt, to announce, but we'll wait and see. But as I said, that is my personal preference, will be to get a system in place to assist and reward those who perform well. Because some public servants go well beyond the call of duty. They're there early, they leave late, they're helpful, they're courteous, they understand the assignment. Others, really, the only thing they come to work for is to mark their name so they could collect the pay at the end of the week.
Amen, Brother Premier. That is what you does. You come in daily, you mark your name. You mark your name now for the past 6 years. What happened to the hospital wing? What have happened to that hospital wing? And you know, at this stage of the game, you know, I cannot just blame you, Premier Brantley. All of them around you, including the new health minister, the one with all the receipts, they are culpable. They are supported your nonsense. So all of them need to go. I was talking about Premier Brantley all along because he's the leader. But as I listen to you all support his nonsense during the NIA assembly, all of you need to go. You all need to be charged for high crime and misdemeanors. The people of Nevis need to stand up, get up, go down to Church Street. I spoke to Janice about writing letters and take them to the federal cabinet on a Monday. She told me the letters them was written. I spoke to her about going to the ombudsman. She told me letters was written. Well, I wonder if them letters is like back in the days when you write letters and send to England. It take a month to get there and a month to get back. Because I mean, I hear nothing about this thing in Janice. No love lasts, And you don't have to love me if you have a problem with what I'm saying. But I'm dealing with the matters as they are. You all need to get up off your all backside and deal with the situation in Nevis. Many people in the diaspora spend thousands of dollars to support you all to get a better Nevis. And when you're going to lose elections by 27 votes, a measly 27 votes is because of your lazy ass. 27 votes. That was not no big numbers to overcome if you guys was paying attention to what was going on. But like I said before, and I will say it again, I was happy in the end that the NRP did not get into government because I didn't realize what was going on inside was that detrimental amongst the colleagues. So I am happy that NRP did not get the opportunity then. But the problem with CCM is still there. It's time for us to eradicate that. It's time to get Nevis people some relief. But if you, the people, don't have the will to eradicate the cancer and try and put Nevis back on better footing, who's going to do it for you? You could cuss Morrishaw. You could cuss the AG. You could cuss the Prime Minister. You could cuss Dwyer. You could cuss whoever you want. But you, the people of Nevis, it's time that you all get up off your backside. The time to work is now, as King Ginger said. The time to do it is now. Light some fire under the ass. Let's start on the 5th of December. Get you all backside down to the NIA Assembly for the budget and stay there every day until the process is done. But I am looking for election in Nevis in 2024. And this is why I'm calling on the Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Jew, and the Honorable AG, Garth Wilkin. We need the electoral office matter resolved. And you are looking at 2025. But that is for the federal. Local elections in Nevis, we're looking at 2024. So we want that electoral office matter resolved. So that is my next mission, right? So let's continue listening to Premier Brantley and his nonsense.
Other than that, they have no interest. And so to give that person the same reward, I think, doesn't make sense and doesn't work. There's another point I want to make about double salary. In Nevis, for example, double salary costs, and I'm giving rough numbers, would cost about $10 million. In Sinkis, that number is probably closer to $25 or $30 million. So each time a double salary is announced, you're talking about anywhere from $35 to $40 million that has to be found to pay out to public servants. Now, if I happen to be a taxi driver, I'm a contributing to the country as well. If I happen to be a lady who's packing the shelves or a gentleman who's working in the back of Rams, I'm contributing as well. If I happen to be a small business person, I braid hair. I fry and sell chicken. I barbecue chicken. I'm a fisherman. I'm a farmer. All of us are contributing to national development. But when every year civil servants get something and them don't get nothing, bearing in mind that the money that is being paid out is coming from our citizenship by investment program. Well, the citizenship by investment program belongs to all of us. It belongs to the civil servant, to be sure, but it also belongs to the farmer. It belongs to the fisher. It belongs to the small business owner. It belongs to the lady at Rams packing the shelf. It belongs to the taxi man. So put yourself sometimes in their shoes and say, well, how do you think they feel that every year you see people walking home in December with 2 pay and they sometimes can't get 1? I think we need a system that is balanced and fair. Frankly, I very much like the system that the Prime Minister introduced of the CBI dividend, where he said if you're registered with Social Security and you're up to date, you can benefit. Because that means everybody across the board was able to benefit. But when every year you only benefit some people and then others. I look at the statistics in Nevis. We have over 6,000 employees, workers in Nevis, according to Social Security. We know the number is higher because not everybody has gone and registered with Social Security. I'm begging them to do so. There are also lots of self-employed people who have not yet registered with Social Security, and again, I beg them to do so. But we have just over 6,000 persons registered with Social Security. Of those, about 1,900 are government workers, established, non-established, weekly, monthly, etc. So if that 1,900 keeps getting a double salary, what happens to the other 4,000 who are working every day and contributing every day as well? I think our system requires greater equity, greater balance, and we need to celebrate all of our people. This is not to diminish the contribution of our public servants. Not at all. But I, for example, have said that during COVID, our public servants were in a privileged position where they got paid in full and on time every single week, every single month. Whether we were on lockdown or not, whether they were at work or not, they got paid. That was a commitment that this government made and a commitment that we were able to keep to our public servants. That was not true of the taxi man. There were no tourists. That was not true of the hotel worker. That was not true of the fisherman who, when he catch the lobster, have no hotel to sell him to and no restaurant to sell him to. That was not true of the restaurant worker. And yet it seems that the response was again to say, well, how do we reward public servants some more and ignore the rest of the community? So I think that we need to sit down and really work out an equitable arrangement, Ms. Hewlett. And I note your plug of the hard-working public servants, and there are many, but I think we need a system that rewards the hard workers and does not reward mediocrity. So that is my 2 cents on that. The resolution on geothermal, I think, was historic. And so the people can understand. We had a situation here in St. Kitts and Nevis, or we have a situation where we have large deposits of geothermal energy. But by God's own work, that is located in Nevis. St. Kitts does not have any geothermal energy. I don't know the reason, but just similarly, you could have oil in one place and in the next place you don't. You have gold in one place, in the next place you don't. It's God's work. But we know we have it, and we've known now for nigh 2 decades that we have this geothermal energy. We have not been able to extract it because a lot of the people we have spoken to, they say, you know, the project in Nevis is just for 12,000 people. It's too small. They want, of course, a national project. That is a project with St. Kitts and Nevis. And I regret to say that for far too long, those in Bastia have undermined the efforts in Nevis to access geothermal. Successive governments have done so, including the government that I was a part of. I would remind the press that when Nevis was talking about developing the known resource, that St. Kitts announced during Team Unity administration that they were pursuing geothermal in St. Kitts. In fact, I believe they gave some contract to a French company, if memory serves, when they knew very well that there was no geothermal to be had in St. Kitts. But of course, we know that there were problems in that construct, created not by the construct, which I still think was a brilliant idea, but by the people in that construct. And so one of the problems that Nevis found itself in is that we could not move our project forward because if we tried to go private, they said it was too small. And when we tried to go by using funds from Green Climate Fund and CDB and all of that, they said, hey, Nevis has no standing, so we want to hear from Bastia, federal government, on this project. So we were caught. I have said before, and I say it here now again, that in order to have the CDB Board of Governors consider the geothermal project in Nevis, we needed a letter from the Office of the Prime Minister to say that the federal government supported the project in Nevis. And we begged and pleaded for that letter from the then Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris. That letter never came. Without it, the CDB could not proceed. We had a change of government in August of 2022. And in my very first meeting with the new Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, I raised this geothermal project. So Dr. Drew, the project requires the support of the federal government if we are to access funding from the CDB. And within a week, that letter had gone to the CDB by the new Prime Minister. That was August of 2022. By December of 2022, the CDB board approved $17 million for this project. That's the first real money that we've had committed to the Nevis project, was the CDB money, and what they call a contingency recoverable grant. All that means is, if they drill and the drilling fails, the money is a grant. If they drill and the drilling succeeds, the money will be transferred into a low-interest long-term loan. But Nevis has no capacity to access CDB funding absent the federal government. I want people to understand that, because while CDB will speak to us, we'll get all the details and the working technical teams and engage with us, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, it is the federal government that has standing, not the NIA. The NIA for them is like a local government. You know, in Jamaica they have local government and they have the central government. So the international agencies, foreign governments, are going to speak to the central government. So when I was foreign minister, for example, I raised with the Americans, I raised with others, the possibility of funding for geothermal. In fact, through my intervention with the United States, we were able to get technical assistance from the US State Department, the Energy Desk. I wasn't aware, however, that while I was in one church, in one pew, singing one song, that others in my government were in a different church, in a different pew, singing a different song. And so the US and those said, St. Kitts Nevis is not serious. So, we're not sure what you all want, because Nevis said they want geothermal, St. Kitts saying. In fact, instead of pursuing geothermal, you all recall that St. Kitts went ahead and signed a contract for a massive solar project. LeClanche or something like that was a company. They signed a 20 megawatt I think, solar project at a price which would be more than double the price that we would pay for geothermal energy if we're able to access it. But I said it in the Parliament on the debate, and I'll say it here again. It appears that in some quarters in St. Kitts there was a concern that somehow Nevis is going to be in control of this resource, and Nevis is going to be in control of the energy. And I'm saying, if those in Bastia had a view and the perspective that we are one country, then it really wouldn't matter that the resources in Nevis are in Sandy Point. What would be important is how do we commercialize the resource to benefit all the people of the country. We've already done the interconnectivity studies. St. Kitts and Nevis is not like Antigua, Barbuda, or Trinidad and Tobago. St. Kitts and Nevis, you could swim from one to the next. We actually have the cross-channel swim that's coming up in the new year. Every year we do it. We could swim from one to the next. That's how close we are. People can go on jet skis from one to the next. If you take the water taxi 5 minutes, you leave Nevis, you're in St. Kitts. It's only 2 miles at the closest point. So the New Zealanders have already done the interconnectivity study for us years ago. They say all you need to do is run a cable under the sea, 2 miles. And when you turn on the switch here, St. Kitts get geothermal. So it's within our grasp. What we lacked was the political will. And that is not new, you know. You recall when the NRP held the reins here in Nevis for the period 2006 until 2013. The then Premier made public statements about seeking guarantees, seeking support, Bastia for this project. It wasn't forthcoming. We got in as a government in 2015. Again, that support was not forthcoming. And so what happened on Monday, Madam Hewlett, was instructive, and it was historic. Because we have a Prime Minister now who understands that the future of St. Kitts and Nevis and his ability to achieve the sustainable island state that he has set as his goal as Prime Minister, that Nevis holds the key.
I wonder if Premier Brantley heard what he just says. Nevis hold the key for the Federation to be sustainable. Brantley, you better get up out of the sleep that you're in. You better wake up, and I hope the Prime Minister is paying attention to this particular statement. Because if you think because you damaged the previous Prime Ministers, you cuss off Douglas, you say you're going to put him in the departure lounge of politics. You thought you were successful, but he's back. Timothy was the best Prime Minister ever, but you call him some dog or puppy, whatever you call him in the end. So now you are trying to tell us that Nevis hold the key for a sustainable island state for the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Continue talking, Brother Brantley. I want the Prime Minister to hear you clear. Continue speaking.
And that key is geothermal energy, renewable energy. That is why Mr. Daniel Pierce, who's here, was able to journey to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to talk to them about geothermal. I am going to be out of jurisdiction in a few days, traveling to Colombia, to Cartagena, again to speak about geothermal. The world out there is excited about what is happening here in terms of geothermal. And we've had and known about this resource for years. So instead of St. Kitts and Nevis undermining each other, I don't only want to put it that way, because that suggests Nevis was involved. Instead of Bastia undermining Charlestown in terms of the exploration and development of this resource, the Prime Minister and I have spoken and we say, listen man, let us do this thing together. Let us do this thing together. I don't care who gets the credit. It doesn't bother me. What I care about is being able to come to my office here at the Social Security building, turn on lights, turn on AC, and know that all of that is powered by renewable. To see all of our hotels on the island switch over to renewables. To see our people being able to zoom up and down on their electric scooters and buy electric cars, and for us to put charging stations across the length and breadth of St. Kitts and Nevis. So you plug, charge up and go. Get rid of all these old diesel vehicles and gasoline vehicles and transform our economy. I want to see a day, Ms. Hewlett, when our people can benefit from us exporting energy. So what do you think when we get geothermal energy here, and the science is telling us that Nevis has nearly 1,000 megawatts of available geothermal energy? I want people to understand that, we have nearly 1,000 megawatts of available geothermal energy on the island. But currently, Nevis at peak is only 9 megawatts. And St. Kitts at peak is less than 30. I think it's about 25 megawatts. So what that means is that with just 40 megawatts, we supply all of St. Kitts and Nevis at peak. I want to emphasize at peak, because when people are sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, it drops in Nevis, I think it drops to about 6 megawatts. So at peak, we can supply all of St. Kitts and Nevis overnight and still have hundreds of megawatts of power available. So what are we going to do with it? This is where now it gets interesting, because we can now export Sabre, Statia, St. Bart's, St. Martin, Antigua, Anguilla. None of them have any geothermal capacity. We can now export power to them. The technology now is developed where they are exporting power in terms of hydrogen, ammonium. In fact, ammonia is one of the key ingredients in fertilizer. Imagine, as we talk about food security, that you could now have locally produced fertilizer that you can then sell to the rest of CARICOM because of the byproducts of geothermal. The numbers that I have seen thus far, and I'm hoping that they get lower, not higher, is that geothermal could be available to us as low, as cheap as 9 cents per kilowatt hour. It's US cents. Compare that to the fact that we're paying over 40 cents per kilowatt hour for diesel energy. So just imagine, members of the press, that you move from over 40 cents down to 9 cents, below 10 cents. You know what you could do now? We could air condition the whole of Charlestown. Nevis will be the only place when you walk you don't feel no sun. AC in the air.
My God, I didn't hear that. He did not say he going to air condition Charlestown. Premier Bradley, man, you have taken it to a different, level. Is the people of Nevis really buying this? Is the people of CCM, the supporters of CCM, really that naive? Let's continue listening. We're almost to the end of this. Let's continue listening.
We make light of it, but I'm saying that we are on the cusp of a revolution. And it is because Prime Minister Drew understands that he and I met and we said, listen, we need to demonstrate to the world that St. Kitts and Nevis, government and opposition, are on the same page in relation to this project. And that is why this resolution, Ms. Hewlett, is so important. This resolution signifies a new day for the exploration and development of this resource for the benefit. So I am not fussed about people who say the federal government has taken over the project. We know that is not true. The project is being administered in Nevis by NEVLEC. But we also understand that the federal government's involvement is important if we are going to be able to access funds. Nevis, for example, couldn't go to Saudi Arabia. Even if we went, Saudi Arabia would say, yes, we're interested, but we need the federal government to sign off. So I hope people understand where I'm coming from. That this is not time to start to fight over this. This is time to work together to develop it so that the man in Keon, the man in Keys, the man in Charlestown, the man in Brownhill, that all of those people can benefit from this resource. And that's what it's all about. So instead of us fighting, we have decided to come together. Instead of us undermining each other, we've decided to come together. I think it's a good day, and I said so during the Parliament. I said so now. I commend the Prime Minister and his team, everybody that spoke. In fact, I commend my team, because the Honorable Alexis Jefferson and the Honorable Eric Evelyn spoke eloquently. Their support of this approach, joint approach, a national approach to develop this resource for the benefit of the nation.
Okay, folks, we're going to cut it there for now and that segment. And I am going to go straight across to my teacher, if I can find her there. Queen Singing Jackie. Gonna ask her to tap her screen to open her mic. Good evening, teacher. How are you doing?
Good evening, Morrishaw. I'm doing fine.
Well, I want to thank you for hanging in there because, you know, on a Wednesday evening, I try to keep the airways alive with the realities that is taking place in our beloved Federation. I don't understand. Every time I see you looking younger and younger, what are you doing with your age?
Oh, I'm retired now. Remember last year I told you I was going to do it?
Yeah.
And you didn't believe me.
No.
I'm officially a retiree.
Wow. So you got all the time in the world to touch some blows on them young boy, they think it's on the stage.
Oh boy, that's another set of politics.
Well, sister, there's a lot of folks online weekly, new people, and they would not know who I'm speaking to without you giving a little synopsis of yourself. I know you're a teacher, so you're a former teacher, retired teacher, so you know how to do your thing. So just let the people know who I'm speaking to.
Yes, good evening to everyone listening. My name is Jacqueline Hazel, leader, in that order. And I've been teaching for quite some time now. And the good Lord said it's time for me to step back from that active teaching. I still do a little, what you call volunteer work, and to keep me alert still. I'm not just going to back completely away, but it's not something that I'm getting paid for. I'm doing it from the goodness of my heart. And I think everybody knows I've been singing for donkey years, as people like to remind me of. And as long as the Almighty give me the strength, I will continue to do it, much to some people's chagrin, because for the past couple of years, I've been getting that kind of vibe that it's young people time and old people need to take a back seat. And the more people tell me, so they know I'm not going to really succumb to that kind of, if they want to call it, words. Anyway, let us keep, we had enough politics, that kind of politics for the night. I was listening keenly to the gentleman, Carlisle Powell.
You were listening to Premier Brantley.
I was listening last week. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, last week. All right.
Yeah, because I didn't listen it. So
Yeah.
who you had on this, because we were on the wrong one.
No, well, tonight it's just me and Queen Jackie because I didn't really want to get nobody to cut your time short because when I spoke to your husband and he told me, yes, you will be available, I said, okay, I will take you at the top of the hour, but the clips, some of them are longer than some, so I went
But
a
you
bit
have to
over time.
budget your time, you know. You must look at the time of the clip so that you could give a concise, because being a teacher, I tell my students to follow their time. And so we as adults must, you know, be the model, be the role model. So you got to look at your time, your clips, and get them concise.
Teacher, since I have you online publicly, you know, I think you could tell them what kind of student I was back in the days, you know, because nothing changed with me. So was I a good student during your time?
Really? You don't want me to tell them?
So that's the point I'm trying to make. You know?
I don't think you want me to tell them anything.
Well, that's what I'm
But
telling
I would
you.
I would like to say good night to all who are listening. And this is Calypso time now. And if they have been following the releases of the Calypsonians, they would realize that quite a number of them deep into the politics. So we'll just continue in a different phase, because the Calypsonians are always the mouthpiece of what's going on for the common man, has always been and will continue to be.
Well, that is what is missing in Calypso in St. Kitts Nevis for me. I used to look forward to the tents and Christmas time. I was saying a couple of weeks ago, they used to have a thing called what they call it? Nigger business, where people would dress up in dress, men will dress up in dress and hat like female, and they go around from house to house, village to village, and acting out any domestic dispute that might have taken place in a particular family throughout the year. So it was a nice thing in our village in St. Paul's. They had those guys doing that. And then the Calypsonians was our librarians. So they will come and sing of what was transpiring and what they need to see change. But it appears as though that some Calypsonians became pundits instead of Calypsonians. So they sing based on the party they support and not the realities. And we lost a lot of that. I must say to you that I listened to these two tracks and I'm very impressed with lyrically, musically, what you have done this year. And I don't know if you remember, I keep telling you, you know, my favorite part of you singing was that time when you came out many, many moons ago in your school dress and act like the school girl. That is when I start paying attention to your song.
Okay. Well, the fact remains you paid attention. So something caught your attention.
Oh yeah. What a lovely skirt you had on that evening.
That was my sister's uniform, you know.
Well, it fit you well.
My younger sisters, yeah.
It fit you well. So Jackie, I know people in the diaspora have not heard your tracks as yet, and they're anxiously waiting to hear something. So I have two new tracks here for you. I think one of them it says Honest Truth, and the second one is Kaiso Warrior. So which one you want to kick off with?
The Honest Truth, because this is something that I hold dear to my heart. I've been listening for the past years of the things people say at certain times. And it's a bit, not a bit, it's based on the political atmosphere of those couple of years, especially during elections. And what I've found, and I think what your listeners would have found as well, is that people say one thing when the party they prefer is out, and they would say the opposite when they get in. And so I think the lyrics speak for itself. And so let us give them a listen. Some of them might have heard it because I've placed them on all the radio stations, the key radio stations here in St. Kitts. And so maybe some people have heard them. To those who haven't, please listen. The message is in the music and the lyrics.
Yes, and before I play the song, I just want to thank your husband there, Brother Morris Leader, for being the promoter that he is and the manager that he is, because I'll be honest with you, until he reached out to me, I did not even know that you had released the songs already. I know that you're in St. Kitts. I know that you're in St. Kitts. I was in St. Kitts. I am now in New York. So I have not had the opportunity to go to the tents. And why I don't go to the tents early is because, in my view, and they might not like to hear me say it, but I think we have too much talent in terms of musicians in St. Kitts Nevis, and those talented people don't take their music serious. I have seen them over the years. They have all of the Calypsonians, they practice a verse and a chorus, and they go on to the tent. No, I am coming to hear music. I am coming to hear the Calypsonians put out what they produce. And you see some of them on stage with the instrument, they're fighting to find the song. And I don't like that. I like to know when I come there, I am hearing the full maker of the song. So that's why I have not been.
I am glad you brought up that, because as much as we have started early this year, we only had 2 tents. I call it 1 and a piece for me, because I came in the Friday before the first tent, did not get to rehearse. It seemed that is my plight. And then, as I said, because I'm retired, I'm able to come in to do the rehearsals. And for some reason, it didn't pan out. I went to sing in the first tent because I said I was going to try my utmost best to get in as many tents as possible. I don't know what really happened, but so far, we have only had 2 tents. The third one is going to be tomorrow night at Spratnet. And what is different too is the fact that normally we go all around the island as much as possible, maybe east, west, north, and south, if we could. But this year it has only been at Spratnet. And I cannot really give an explanation for that. And so we would only have 3 tents, and elimination is Saturday and Sunday.
That is.
So as you said, the music, if we don't get the rehearsals, the members of the band will not be familiar. And that is why I usually say the fumbling. And in some cases, I say they're watching the music as if it is a movie, because they don't know, they are not familiar with the movements of the music, the horns. Yeah, they are not familiar. And so it comes out, and it bothers me sometimes that cameras are there ready to record. I usually say, St. Kitts, people like to record negatives. When I went on that night, I made sure I told them, do not record me. And some people were annoyed. I said, do not record me because this is my rehearsal. And this is the only way I'm going to get my rehearsal. And if you record me, you're going to get stops, mistakes, and all kind of things. Because if I don't hear what I want to hear, I'm going to stop the band, which I did. And start over again. And stand up there and listened. But that is how you have to get it in. The tents sometimes, most of the times, they are used for people to really rehearse with the band. I don't know, but that's it. I don't know if it is lack of professionalism or anything like that, but
it's a lack of everything. It's a lack of everything in a teacher, because like I said, when it comes to culture and music, I don't bite my tongue, and I don't speak to degrade anybody. I speak to see improvement. And
yeah, and sometimes we a lot of people think the same way, but they don't want to talk. They don't want to speak out, because you're dealing with human beings, and instead of taking it in the light that it should be taken, people get upset. They get angry. Some people get spiteful. And so sometimes to safeguard oneself, we do not say anything. But I read the state of my life where I talk.
Well, I am saying to you that I have seen how much they put financially and otherwise, the effort they put into the release of the Queens. And
Bobby, I wouldn't even blame committee and so on. I see everybody unifying and coming together. If you were following the other day, the vendors, the vendors had a problem and the vendors united and they got their problem solved.
You'll be surprised.
Only we Calypsonians.
You will be surprised.
The Calypsonians are so divided, it ain't funny.
Very
and
much
most
so.
of the time, it's along party lines.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. And that is the point I am trying to make, is that I remember the night of the vendor situation. I get a phone call right from the meeting. A voice clip was sent to me because I was going to run it the following week. But they resolved the matter in quick time. When it comes to the bands and the Calypsonians, there's just this big divide and jealousy and envy and whatever. And I've said to them time and time again, you cannot resolve the matter this way. But again, I can say that Sakroti and Wingrove, I give them credit for the effort they make annually to try and have a tent. But they too have to be more serious about whether or not. It doesn't make sense you got 40-something Calypsonians and you don't have time to rehearse them and you're playing nonsense at the tent. It better you got less Calypsonians, rehearse the songs properly and have some quality shows. That is where it's at for me, you know? So let's drop this track. This one is called The Honest Truth by Queen Singing Jackie. And I must say, my teacher that have me where I'm at today, no blows, so she never banged me.
There is a saying that honesty is the best policy, and telling the truth would set our conscience free. But in today's ever-changing society, speaking the truth is now a scarcity. The mainstream media with their daily global news is filled with fake issues and whitewash varying views. And right here in our Twin Island beauties, with 5 political parties, the honest truth brings strife and enemies. Every time government change, people and truth become estranged. Lies and truth switching because of party they're supporting. That's the honest truth that has fire to eat it. When calling a spade, yes, the honest truth has fire to eat it. Though it's suppressed, it will prevail when politicians pledge to serve the country. Some supporters think it's just their constituency, and when they say they'll uplift the common man, some people feel it's a long-term handout plan. That's the honest truth that has fire to eat it, especially when a spade is called a spade, like the truth from the mouths of babes. Though suppressed, it will remain. As a people, we should want policies that are the best, that would keep us safe and bring economic success. One would think we all would have the same agenda, with practical ways to make these islands prosper. But we forever undermining each other when the parties we favor don't have the reins of power. Oh, why can't we work together like we do in a natural disaster? For we don't hesitate to be our brother's keeper. But as soon as the danger is over, outrushing nasty behavior, all goodwill disappear and rancor come back in top gear. That's the the honest truth that has fire to eat. When a spade is called a spade, that's the honest truth that has fire to eat. Though camouflage, it will prevail. When functionaries work ethics causing people pain. The truth is they're scheming to change it, change again. And when slanderous tongue blabbing all of a sudden, the truth is they know jail time now go happen. That's the honest truth that has fire to eat, especially when a spade is called a spade. Like the truth from the mouths of babes, no camouflage, it will prevail. My prayer is for SKN to become that place with an end to the political rat race. This divisiveness that exists between family and friends is like a candle burning at the ends. Human nature is not what it's supposed to be. Selfishness and jealousy are now the reality. If we want things to be better, we have to look in the mirror and own the role we play in the daily drama. We should not be rejoicing when crime rate increasing. It's like that disease that's affecting everybody. That's the honest truth that has fire to eat. When a spade is called a spade, that's the honest truth that has fire to eat. Though it's hidden, it will prevail. While we wasting time defending politicians, they living high while we hitting rock bottom. And if by now we don't know what is right from wrong, we will always be victims of deception. That's the honest truth that has fire to eat, especially when a spade is called a spade. Like the truth from the mouth of babes, though suppressed, it will prevail.
Morning, Mr.
Yeah,
Premier.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Queen, singing Jackie. That track, lyrically, musically, as I said, I love it. Now, talk to us. How did you came about these lyrics? Who are the musicians? Who is the arranger? Because this is a step up for Sugar Mass 52. Somebody might try to mess with your elimination night, you know, because those hands there, you show them boys now to play them hand parts there.
I can tell you this much. They had problems in the tents that I attended, but the last rehearsal I had, which was when? Monday? Tuesday? Sometime last week, last Saturday. Ringo took the horns aside and they practiced the parts, especially in the verse, because they didn't get it. And I don't blame them because we didn't have much practice time. And I know once they have it, and I also send the song to them. And so they can listen, because if you listen how it is played, apart from reading the music, because they are all sight readers, and hearing the song now with the lyrics, I think it's going to be better come tomorrow, hopefully. But as to the song, as I said, I listen to people. Once I have a theme in my head and I'm hearing it more than once, people saying the same thing. I said, this is something good to follow through on, which I did. And if you listen to 3 verses, I am sure that people who listen it, intently, critically, there is something in it that they can relate to. And so that's how I came up with that, just by listening to what was going on from since last year, as a matter of fact. And I keep, trying to improve on it, trying to get things that I know people are talking about on both sides of the, how many political parties?
I lost track of them, but as you're speaking, I'm laughing to myself because the final meeting there in Keon, just before the general elections, for the federal elections, you and I and your husband was talking and was speaking about the happenings and stuff. And I could listen and I could hear those conversations in this song lyrically. So I know that you've been listening.
I've been paying attention. And one of the things is that if people have been really following me, if they are real Jackie fan, they would realize that I do not come out to lambast any one person. I do it in a way that they listen and try to do something better, try to change. And I always say, if politicians, because I don't care how you cut it, slice it, politics in everything that we do, And so if the politicians are worth their mettle, they would listen to the people, because those songs are coming from the people, the common man, the grassroots, the foot soldiers, as Godfrey called them. And they would do well to try to listen and try to make amends somewhere, or else some people will become the them. Remember last year's song in the Get Rid of Anthem? That is what would happen, because I can't help but listen to what's going on. Because as I said, I just finished teaching. I used to teach an AP class, and we do a lot of critical thinking. We look at the issues of the world, not just the Virgin Islands, not just the Caribbean, but globally. And they are supposed, and the more we look at the past, the more we see that things are being repeated. And we don't pay attention to our past. Some people just say, oh, the past is past. Look forward. You all traditional people, you all need to get with the program. And so we keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So that is where that song came from.
It's funny that you use that terminology, critical thinking. As I said earlier in the program, when I left St. Kitts, I was nothing of what I am today. And that is something that is embedded in me from working at the hospital here, becoming a union member, becoming a union rep. Critical thinking is a daily thing. You go to sleep with it, you wake up with it, because that is the only thing going to move you forward. You cannot be selfish. You have to think about other people if you want to be successful. And you as a teacher, giving of yourself, teachers, I think, are always the less paid, the less appreciated, but I appreciate you guys. Because without teachers, a lot of these parents will be mad. So,
and as you talk about teaching, I can come to Calypso and the teaching really doesn't come out. It's sad that when the hurricanes came and children were at home for a while, we say, okay, give them a break, the hurricane. COVID came and the children were learning pretending to learn online, because I'm being very honest. A lot of students didn't learn one blessed thing during the time online. And I'm talking from experience. Now they are back in class. We have hells getting these students to focus, Teachers are leaving by the droves. I know right in the States where you are, as well, every year, quite a number. There's an exodus of teachers out of the system. And it's not because they are going because of the money. It's the treatment, it's the system, and the making of excuses for the behavior of children. So many things are happening, and I'm sorry. I have a grandson, and I can tell you, I see him drop from being an A student to right down to a C student because they were left alone behind this computer. A lot. And when I do my little survey, when I always hear people, oh, you got to get with, students want to learn with using technology. You know, these children, they tell you point blank, they only want the technology. Some of them. But some of them really want to do their work, don't care how you give it to them. Others, the technology is for social media, it's for talking, it's for TikTok, and it's for all the other things except what you want them to do on it. And they would tell you point blank, they prefer to have the paper. My students that I had prefer to have a book than forcing them to go and read online. Now, everything is online, you know. Everything has its good and its bad. And so we have to balance it. But people make believe that all the teachers just want to be traditional using this and don't want to use the modern tech. Nothing to all go so. I've learned so much different to when I used to teach in St. Kitts, because in those days, the resources that we have available now were not available then. And so I had to get with the program. And I have not regretted it, but I am one who balance so that you don't have this one-sided type of learning. And students, yeah, they pass a lot of subjects. And if we are honest, quite a number of them are being assisted. Now you have AI and things. These children told me they would dictate what they want, whatever, write their essays for them. There are a lot of students who pay people to write their essays and their research paper, and they boast about it. I am talking from experience. As I said, there are always exceptions to the rule, but that's what's going on.
You know, I spoke about that in the earlier part of the show, that people get their PhDs and stuff because the people did their work for them. And
yeah, you have those who did their work, you know, don't get me wrong.
I understand, I know.
Don't get me wrong, but I know of people, it's like they have a factory producing PhDs now. And I know people who genuinely work on their PhDs, how hard it was, how much time they put in. And then I have some telling me how easy it was. Nah.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm gonna respond to that by saying something. You know, there was a particular gentleman during the pandemic that was locked down in OTI, and this guy cried to me on a daily basis about the situation there. And when the guy came out, I heard somebody question him about the experience, and the guy said, "Man, that was okay. It was not everything was cool. I handled that easy," which was a lie. Because this guy cried to me nightly about the condition he was living in there. Anyway, since we went into the teacher frame, for someone who has the experience of being a teacher in St. Kitts, Nevis, and in the Virgin Islands, what are your takeaways in terms of benefit in the Virgin Islands? And why I'm asking you that question, I want to say this. My time in the Virgin Islands, what I learned and appreciate was the kids in the Virgin Islands was given the opportunity to play an instrument, whether it's steel band instrument. We didn't have those luxuries in St. Kitts Nevis. So what are your takeaways in terms of the opportunities that the kids in the Virgin Islands had in opposed to the kids in St. Kitts Nevis?
That same resources, the resources, as I said, I really enjoyed my stint there. And it was a culture shock for me the first time, the first semester, so to speak, when I started teaching at the high school, CAHS. And in St. Kitts, we go to the students, walk the corridors, as you know. You all are supposed to be in the class and not Morrishaw being on the corridor while I'm walking up towards the class. You're supposed to be seated in the class. But down there in the VI, they come to us. That was the first culture shock, so to speak. They come to us. Another thing too was the 90-minute block. They changed it to 75 now. But there's a 90-minute block where the students only do 4 subjects per day for the semester. And you would think that everybody would pass. 4 subjects, whereas in St. Kitts, you do so many subjects in a week. And with you, to answer your question about playing an instrument, music, choir, all those things are part of the curriculum. And so the students who are geared to, and they have mechanic shops. Well, some of the things have dropped out a bit. You would hear them talking about it still, that you used to have carpentry and all those things. And I don't know, somebody dropped the ball somewhere. So when the older folks die out, there's nobody to replace them. But they had, when I went there first, they had all those things, the skills. So if you are not academically inclined, you can do the mechanic, you could do the body work of the car. And so they had agriculture as well. And then the teacher retired last year and it was out. I think they're trying to bring it back up again. But you had a variety of things to cater towards, and still they would say they don't have enough, which is true, because the college did not have any. You have to go off island if you want to continue your career as a mechanic and that kind of stuff there, or get your credentials and that. But it's open to them. They have the marching band, symphony band, as I said, the choir, and some pretty good singers. I remember that same Malvern, because no, Malvern is a good buddy.
Yeah.
Malvern went college and it was music was his major. And he has a beautiful voice, because all of that is part and parcel from elementary. My 7-year-old grandson now is in a music. If they're that way inclined, and their parents behind them, because you can't do it without the parents. And the parents are behind them, these students can really come out to be something, and we have examples of those. And of course, you have those who just go in. I don't know, sometimes they come school just to make mischief sometimes. But the majority would go on to college, whether on island or off island. So it's different. It's really different. And I have become a better teacher in that system simply because they give you avenues to hone your skill as a teacher. You go on workshops and conferences. Every year they have conferences on the mainland for the different subject areas, or people who are doing the AP, the advanced placement. So it's different. I can't talk of now, but I hear complaints. I'm talking about now in St. Kitts, because I have not been in the system for over 20-something years from here. But it has its ups and its downs, like everything else. You have your advantages and your disadvantages.
Well, I am hoping, now that you have officially retired, that the education, whoever is responsible, the power that be. I know you might say no, but I would hope that they stay on you until you give them a yes, because we're just passing through. We're all going to die with what we have, and we need to leave something for these kids out there. I know some of them might not be open and willing to learn, but the few that is willing to, we got to try and give them the system.
I am more concerned about the one, not the bright ones, because you have the intelligent ones. They are going to do good anyway, whether they have a good or bad teacher. There are some students like that. They are going to do good anyway. My highlights of my teaching career are those students who we would deem as slow, who have gone on to do great things. And they're the ones who would come back, not the so-called bright ones, and would tell me, Miss Leader or Miss Hazel, if it weren't for you, you encouraged me, you made me love history and that kind of stuff. And people think because we teach history, anybody could teach history. Nothing to go so. There is one subject that if you don't have a little life in you, the children will always say history boring. And what I have done over the years is to relate it to what's going on, the current, current things that's going on. And so that's it. And I used to get most of my, as I would say, melee from the children to put in my songs. Students live the life. When they come into that classroom, they bring the society to you. They bring their home problems to you. And so you are aware of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Queen, how long have you been in the Virgin Islands, living in the Virgin Islands before you retire?
I wouldn't even call it living because there was not a year I didn't come back St. Kitts.
Well,
it's like I was working there.
Working in the Virgin Islands, how long?
Yeah, but anyway, I went down there 1997. Yeah.
You know why I asked the question? Because over the years that I speak with you, I have never picked it up until tonight. You got the VI twang down pat. You're trying to cover it up, but I can hear it.
Somebody said it, but when I'm, I think it's the teacher part of me because I remember I had to code switch a lot when I was there. And I don't think so because the children will tell me, see that you ain't losing your St. Kitts accent at all. Because when they hear me go St. Kitts for them, it means that I'm talking me St. Kitts dialect.
Correct.
Yeah, but I believe certain things would come out because you hear the children every day. Sometimes you mimic them too, like they mimic you. And I guess something would rub off, but consciously I wouldn't do it. Maybe certain things come out.
Well, I pay attention. I love to listen. I'm a good listener. You guys taught me that.
It doesn't sound so,
It's there.
It doesn't sound so.
Back to the song, The Truth. You spoke about the lyrics and how you came about it and stuff. Who is the arranger? Who are the musicians?
The arranger is Henrik Williams.
That's
the
brother of Wilgo.
The brother of
Williams.
Numpy
and them, yeah. And he's a bass arranger.
And Top Notch. He plays in Top Notch. Band.
Yeah.
In St. Thomas. And he did everything. And then when it comes to phrasing and so on, my husband assisted me with that. Because sometimes they say, I want to say everything and it's Calypso, you got to put in the dialect.
Correct.
The teacher part sometimes comes out and the song sound too English, as they would say. So he would tell me the things, how people would say it sometimes. But there are times when you got to make it straightforward. But so between Kendrick and Maurice, that's why I got
that's good. So your husband still play his instrument? Or he retired from that?
In Baptist church. If you ever listen Baptist church on a Sunday, you will hear that saxophone. Yeah, he plays with the Baptist orchestra.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Jackie, the first song I know was good. The second song, the Warrior song, I know somebody gonna feel some weight on the stage. And again, I am hoping that these guys take the time out to really give you the rehearsal necessary because I am tired of good Calypso get kicked out in eliminations because of a lack of
and I agree with you because a lot of people don't realize it, but it's a whole 30 points for the music. And as much as they say, they would say, oh, we are not going to penalize you if the band, come on. If the band does not play good, the melody of the song is lost.
Yeah.
And that would be my problem. I can't hear wrong things behind me. And they just say, just sing. But it bothers me because in gearing up towards the live shows, I am practicing with the recorded music, which is basically perfect if you want to put it that way. And then you go and you don't hear the parts that you're supposed to hear. It's really deflating to me. I don't know about others.
I actually love to see the live instruments, you know, the drum machine and them thing. I ain't care for that. I love to, I remember back in the days when I position myself to look at any of the bands, Element or whoever, I position myself for the keyboard, the horn section, and the drummer. The steel and them, I'm hearing them, but I want to see the actual performance from those guys. So let's drop the second track here. This one is called Kaiso Warrior, and give the folks a chance to listen.
When this veteran didn't make it to the finals, I faced many obstacles and fought many battles as a warrior in the finals arena. Now the floodgate is wide open. I'm fully active for the season, from rehearsal with the band to every tent round the island. So all who jump up with me and try to embarrass me, this born and bred tradition is not a weak Calypso. For the warrior spirit in me, say run, tell all and sundry, Jackie in control. So let the drum roll. From the 10 to elimination, I ain't easing up at all. Go spread the word, I'm ready for bacchanal. So tell naysaying factions, done with their petty actions, Jackie in control. So let the drum roll. Tell them I say move out me way, for I finally got this way with timely topics, hard-hitting lyrics, and I'm full of positive energy. Jackie's in control for this anniversary. With or without a coup, I'm in Sugar Mass 52. Fans were asking the same question, why in 21 I rose out the competition. It felt like spitefulness that no one wanted to address, so they tried their best to feed me in the wilderness. Some Calypsonians were so petty, I heard they threatened the committee with an unvaxxed lawsuit, while others simply remained. Now I hear for a set of grumbling, I should keep out young people think them beg some Calypsonian want to push out a true Kaiso icon. For the Kaiso spirit in me, say run, tell everybody, Jackie in control. So let the drum roll. From the 10s to semi-finals, I ain't easing up at all. Go spread the word, I'm ready for bacchanal. So tell all them spring chicken who think I'm easy picking, Jackie in control. So let the drum roll. Tell them I say clear up me way, for I finally got this way with sweet melody, diction and clarity, and I'm full of youthful energy. Jackie's in control for this anniversary, and I don't care about their negativity. Consistent Calypsonian, telling who want to keep me down. Jack got my back, I don't crack when under attack. I take part annually and do so wholeheartedly. I don't let anyone hold me hostage for a song. My deep love for Calypso keeps me on the go. Don't care if government change, my love for the art remain the same. And I don't let politicians with evil intentions actions, let me sell my integrity for sing or hush money. For the Kaiso spirit in me, say run, tell all and sundry, Johnny in control. So let the drum roll. From the 10th straight to the finals, I ain't easy up at all. Let the world are ready for bacchanal. Tell me, saying factions, done with their petty action, Jackie in control. So let the drums roll. My resilience it cannot beat. Don't care how much I cheat. With creativity, diction and clarity, and I'm full of positive energy. Jackie's in control for this anniversary. With or without a crew, I'm in sugar massive video. Let me acknowledge publicly all those who encourage me to continue singing, whether losing or winning. Names are too many to mention, and some have gone to the great beyond and looking down to see I'm still standing strong. Way back then in Calypso, females were a big no-no. They felt all time should be spent competing in beauty pageant. But the junior Kaiso inception led to my inclusion. Then Jacks and Kings winning, saw the Calypso spirit in me. That's why the warrior spirit in me say run, tell everybody, Jackie in control. So let the drum roll. From the 10th straight to the finals, I ain't easy no battle. Go spread the word, I'm ready for bacchanal. Tell me, saying factions, done with their petty actions, Jackie in control. So let the drum roll. Tell them I say, play out me way, for I finally got this way. With timely topics, add it in lyrics, and I'm full of sugar mass energy. Jackie's in control for this anniversary. With or without a crew, I'm in sugar mass 52.
Yes, Queen, that's a lovely, lovely track. Like I said, I listened to the songs earlier, and lyrically, musically, I just love the production. Now, as I said, it'll be a shame for me to come into Carnival City finals night and Jackie's not on stage. So it's up to the rehearsals now. The judges cannot hear songs like these if the band is playing them properly and throw you out of the eliminations. That I know. So it's up to the band to do their work and for you to perform.
Stranger things have happened there. And I am telling you, I'm going to do my best. Things happen sometimes, but I have had times when I could consider myself flawless that night and still didn't make it. And everybody wanted to know why in the past. And so the ball is in my court. Once I have that music, as I said, straight to the finals.
I am looking forward to that. I will not be there for the eliminations, but God spare my life, I definitely will be there.
This is this week. It's this week, starting Saturday. You're going to have, and it boggles my mind why we're going Spratnet, but let me keep my mouth shut. I ain't come to rock no boat. But
like you said, Jackie, there are major villages throughout the island. I remember back in the day. We didn't do
anything this year. This year is all Spratnet because it's back Spratnet tomorrow night. I guess they have their reasons. I don't know. I don't know what's behind it. But normally you have couple tents in the city. You have one round K-Arm. I think Sakuti did the most tents for the season. He went as far as Pompey on Sunday. But we were to have one on Sunday last week, or Sunday this week, and it was postponed, and it was Pratnett again. So I really don't know. I can't give you an answer for that.
Maybe my boy's Pratnett is a sponsor.
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Money go.
Well, I'm gonna give you another line to put in your final song there, right? I just received a message said Development Bank is on fire.
Right now?
Right now.
We mean literally on fire?
I got the video.
Yeah, but I'm near to Development Bank, you know.
Well, maybe.
See. I'm not too far from Development Bank. I mean, I lie. That's downtown. I was thinking ECCB.
No, yeah. That's downtown. Yeah, I just received a video clip there say Development Bank on fire. So
oh my God!
I do not never trying to burn the evidence.
The evidence.
But one way or the other, you know the funny thing about life, what people don't realize, right? In this day and age, the digital footprint does not stay in one area, because once you send it across to somebody else, you could destroy it here, but it's over there someplace else.
Yeah.
So whatever they want to do is fine. Well, Sister Jackie, again, I want to thank Brother Maurice for reaching out and getting me the music, and I want to thank you for taking the time out. I'm going to give you the opportunity to say hi or hello to who you want to, and at your convenience, check the trend. There's a lot of comments there. Congratulations for you, because right after you, I'm going back into my 2020 politics.
I tell you, that's one thing with St. Kitts I can't get over, you know, that we have year-round politics, you know. You don't get a break.
Well, you got to blame that. You got to blame the Premier Nevis right now, you know. That's why I laser focus on Nevis, you know.
Laser focus on him.
I finished with St. Kitts.
I listen you. I say, when you see you like a dog with a bone, you ain't gonna let it go.
You know, you got some dog look over in the water and see the bone, see the shadow and leg of the bone. That's not me.
No, I let it go.
I let it go. I dealing with that.
Anyway, it was as usual a pleasure, and it's exactly, let me see, 2 years since I was on with you. You know, I was on in 2021 when they had me locked down, and when I came up and then they didn't allow us to sing with the unvaxxed. And I said, it's 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I spoke to you. So to all who stayed, because there are some people who are on for their politics, to all who stayed, thank you very much. And I am very open to feedback, because you can't do things in a vacuum. I take constructive criticisms, not people who just want to make you feel as low as the dirt on their shoe, but I take constructive criticisms and praise as well. As I said, I'm retired. I'm loving it. And sometimes I wonder why I didn't do it sooner, but I thank God. Before I go, I should have done that from the beginning anyway, that I give God all the praise and all the glory for keeping me safe, keeping me healthy, and keeping my mind still working. Because Morrishaw, there have been so many people who I know who are not here today on this side of the earth. Younger than I am, right here in St. Kitts and in the Virgin Islands as well. Up to today, I got a note say one of our former teachers passed. I'm trying to put her face to the name right now, but one of my co-workers remind me, and I still say co-workers, that yes, she worked when I was there. And I said, oh my Lord, people are dropping like flies. Health-wise, there are a lot of sick people out there. And I wish a lot of us would take, focus on ourselves. Stress kills a lot of people too. You can't be stressing over things that you have no control over. And I'm glad I reached that stage of my life where I know what to focus on and what to let go, God being my helper. And so I want to wish everybody online a healthy rest of 2023 and the last time when I spoke to you, it was before eliminations, and then I heard I didn't get it. So I hope this is not deja vu. I rebuke it in the name of the Lord. Lord, yeah, but it's good. It's good to be back home. And I am enjoying going for my daily walks, having a swim once a week. I can't swim. Let me say dip. I can't swim. It's a shame. I've been around water and I can't chop stroke. Anyway, I go in the water as far as I could stand and I enjoy it. So DJ, people online, I see some of my students and some of my friends. Good night to you all and have a good one for the rest of the week. And I hope you all enjoyed my 2 contributions for this year's Sugar Mass.
Well, I can say to you that not only did I enjoy the songs, I enjoy having my conversation with you as usual. Every opportunity I get, I try to relive teacher students moment. But
yeah,
I will see you soon and we'll continue the conversation. But in the meantime, I wish you much success at the eliminations and looking forward to seeing you in the finals. I have 3 horses in the race down there. I do not know.
I forget to tell you about that. Yes, I know you have your 3 horses. I'm going to knock them out. I'm going to knock them out. And your 3 horses are males, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to knock. You were in St. Thomas. I don't say me goodbyes. But you were in St. Thomas when Richie Bunting won.
Yeah.
And you didn't even come to say hi to your teacher.
But
you didn't. You remember the mess that I got in?
But what happened that night? But what happened that night? You know what happened that night? Up until now, I'm still getting cussed for it. I actually did not have any intention of coming to the Calypso show. I came down for a funeral in St. Croix. A friend of mine passed away, MacArthur Jarvis from Antigua. So I went across for the funeral. And it's while I was in St. Croix, I got a call from X-Man, Livingston Harris, telling me that the person that was supposed to do his presentation pulled out on him. And the only person that he think could do a good job is me. And can I come and do his presentation? I came there specifically just to do that presentation and leave. It's when I'm going to the gate, leaving, Bunting was, I think, the next person in line to go on stage, and he intercepted me and asked me to assist him, which I did. And as soon as I finished that, I went straight to the gate. I head home. I did not even know the results until X-Man wake me up that morning to tell me, thanks, because he came first runner-up. I said, well, if you came first runner-up, who came queen? Who came king? He said, Richie. And I said, Jackie, what she came? I think he told me 3rd or something. I'm not sure.
He got to be kidding me. I didn't even get out the gate. Let me tell you what happened, on my 2nd round, they say, and I put quote, they had a computer glitch. So while I did, I don't know why this thing happened to me. While they're singing no band, the band dropped out. And they said nothing. They just tell me, okay, begin again. So I don't know what I'm at because three times that band stopped playing. Everything just dropped out. And when I confronted them long after, And so I made it, I said, and I send it right now, so I hear that's it for me and them down there. I'm not singing in their shows again, because up to now, nobody apologized or anything like that for that band dropping out on me in the middle of the beginning and middle of the song.
But I was so disappointed with the Carnival Committee in general in St. Thomas. I basically blast them on WST the Monday, and I know some people took offense to it, because simple stuff that I realized going on there. You're going to tell me you got a place like Virgin Heaven with all of that facility, and you got all these tents for everything else, and there's no changing room for the Calypsonians.
You talk about that. The one in charge, I tell you, Morrishaw, the person in charge of Calypso, hates Calypsonians. I had it all. I know they had me earmarked because I was very vocal online in the chat, because they decreased the money from giving them $1,000 for non-participant to $400. Some people, you pay more than that to get your recordings and to get your music scored and so on. And he couldn't care less. They didn't even have a dressing room. They sent for key to open to the public bathroom.
The public bathroom, I was there.
It's one of my teacher friend had a little tent for her daughter who does dancing. And she gave me the little tent, a little tent I couldn't even turn around in. That time rain poured that night. We swam on stage. I mean, water got done on stage. I appreciate other people's Calypso show now. I think they were treated like dogs and nobody saying anything. Simply because once you place, you don't have anything to say. And that is why they continue to do it. They have no regard for Calypsonians. They think Calypsonians are stupid. And sometimes I want to add to that as well, because when we were supposed to team up together, them people didn't do anything, because some of them believe, okay, the $400 in for them, they're going to win anyway. And I wanted two persons in particular not to come anything. One didn't. And I was happy for that, because instead of we holding one head, and I've seen it here as well. So it was exit for me down there from April. I'm not going back. I'm not going to take part in any Calypso show down there.
I registered my dissatisfaction with the Minister of Tourism,
I didn't care.
Mr. Bashut. I gave Halva Hart a piece of my mind, because Halva been in this business for too long and destroying Calypso. I mean, Alva in the business too long for those mistakes. Daryl Scott, my good friend, these guys in the business too long.
Daryl Scott is yet to say something to me, and I have nothing to say to them either, because he knew what went down. And I can tell you that Mr. Hart couldn't care less about Calypsonian. The things that I've heard him say, nobody tell me he said it. The things that I've heard him say, I realize he does not care two hoots. He preferred to bring in the Marshall Montanos and all those people and spend money on them. Said they're bringing it to boost Calypsonians, but couldn't give us even when they said they were going to do it, not even a dressing room. Not even a dressing room. So sometimes we bring it on ourselves, because as we said, we are not together. We do not have any kind of association to speak up for us, so they could do us as they like.
You know, the problem that
I try to mobilize them into standing up, and instead of that, I get the axe.
The problem I have is that in the Virgin Islands, the money is much easier to get to do these events, and it's the worst performance I see from these committees. And the same thing I see in the Virgin Islands is what I'm seeing on Nevis. So I am not over in Nevis talking just for talking sake. A lot of monies for nothing to show.
Anyway, that's how it is what it is. And I said, you quit while you're ahead or not ahead, but I know I don't. People that say, you only saying it, you're coming back. I say, wait, watch me.
Well, teacher, I'm going to tell you this, I am of the view that some people will continue to do the things they're doing with the hope that Morrishaw are going to quit, Me not stop, you know.
No,
Me not
when I
stop,
say,
tall,
let
you
me
know.
tell you, with the quit, I quit down there. Up here, I quit when I want to quit. No amount of trying to degrade me, pull me down, say all kind of negative things gonna get me to quit. It's a God-given talent I have, and I'm going to use it to sensitize people to their own behavior. It's not the politicians alone, into their own behavior, because I saw it during COVID in the same Calypso arena. I saw it. I lived it. And if we don't change, and that is why the politicians have us like football going back and forth and all, because they know how we could turn on each other in the blink of an eye. They do not put the blame where the blame's supposed to go. And that's something that I find very, very, very hard to swallow with the people, with the electorate. We kill each other for politicians who couldn't care two hoots about us. We need a change in our way of thinking.
Definitely.
That we put them there, they couldn't get in there. But you see, we elect people, they get in, and somehow, all of a sudden, we crawl in our knees to them instead of holding their feet to the fire. They may not be able to come to bring out all the things that they said they were going to do. But come out and tell the people, yes, we went in meet X, Y, and Z, and we can do this, and we can. Instead, they leave people to other people to tell people what's going on.
Yeah.
And you see, these functionaries, I mentioned the word functionaries in there. There's a reason. Because I've had people who have been complaining about those functionaries. And I want to believe some of them are not genuine. Some of them maybe hate the work they're doing. And so they take it out on the clients, on the people they're supposed to be serving, and so on and so forth. I could go on and on and on. I could be very political if I want to. But I try to see, I balance, I try to see, and that's some teaching, each side of the story. I do not take anything at face value. I look at all the sides and come to my own conclusion. And you will always have different viewpoints. Always. There's no if, buts, or maybe. But you should be mature enough to know when people are wrong and say they're wrong. That's the thing that I can't get on. It's blatantly, sometimes in your face, that things are not right. And people would just brush it off. Anyway, I ain't going no further, leaving you with your politics.
All right, dear. Thanks for coming. As we continue with part 2 of the 2020 politics, I'm going to make sure I charge Ivor Henry for this segment, because this is real overtime now. So, Ivor, part 2 of Premier Brand. So let's continue. Have a good night, Jackie and Morris.
You too.
Nella Thompson on radio. Good morning, Premier Brantley.
Good morning.
2 questions. 1, can an update be provided on the expansion project currently at the Alexandra Hospital? And second question, Mr. Brantley, MSR Media has accused former Prime Minister Dr. Harris and former CIU head of financial fraud within the CBI program. Dr. Harris issued a statement refuting the matter, and your name has been implicated and CCD'd. Can we have a comment on the matter? Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the Alexandra Hospital, there's no change. We are, I believe, in the final stages now of the long-awaited quantity surveys on the interior. I think the year is closing. In fact, we're going to go into a new budget. The dates are fixed already in Nevis. We're going to have the budget reading on the 5th of December. And so I anticipate, Ms. Thompson, that in that budget we will make provisions for 2024 for the completion of that project. We lost this year because of those difficulties that we have that I've spoken about time and time again here. We finally were able to get reputable persons to do the work for us that was asked to be done elsewhere and wasn't done. and we expect to have that in hand shortly. As soon as we have that, the contractors are already on alert, we're ready to go. So this budget will have a significant allocation for the hospital project. In fact, I can tell you that it will be the principal capital project for the government in the coming year. Insofar as MSR Media is concerned, my involvement with MSR Media is limited to the movie deal that we struck with them. I know Mr. Martinez, who's the head, and I have great respect for him. We have engaged in a professional way in relation to making movies in Nevis, and I can say publicly that he delivered on what he promised, and that the NIA had a partnership with MSR that yielded, I believe it was 9 movies in the space of about 2 years. Those movies did a number of things. It exposed our people to the movie industry. It got the world looking at Nevis as a possible destination. And I can tell you, as a consequence, we already have additional persons who want to do movies here. And we were only held up because of the actors' strike that was happening in the United States that I'm told has now come to an end. And so we anticipate in the new year to have additional movie productions being done right here in Nevis. This was, as you recall, one of our responses to COVID, where we reached out and MSR Media came, they embedded themselves here. Mr. Martinez and MSR at some point decided to branch over into St. Kitts and to get into other business. That is not anything to do with me or the NIA, because our business with Mr. Martinez and with MSR was exclusively about movies. On numerous occasions, MSR suggested that they wanted to do other projects on Nevis, hotel, studio, movie studio development, and we were supportive of those, but none of those came to fruition. I'm aware that MSR was actively courted by former Prime Minister Harris and his team. And I smiled because I said to myself that Prime Minister Harris has zero interest in movies or MSR. Prime Minister Harris looked across the Narrows and he saw Mark Brantley over here with some movie stars and said that we're making movies in Nevis. And he said, I don't want that in Nevis, I want it over in St. Kitts. And just like how they said they were going to have their own geothermal project to undermine the project in Nevis, just so they reached out and did everything that they could to woo MSR to St. Kitts. I looked on, I saw the play, I smiled. I smiled. Because I said, well, if that is what they want to do, then let them go ahead. So MSR ended up going to St. Kitts. Initially, they were getting involved with Kitchen Hill. Then latterly, I think they ended up buying a hotel over there, OTI. And I wish them well. I have recently heard of this eruption of letters and accusations and counter-accusations between MSR and the previous Prime Minister. And all I will say on that, Ms. Thompson, is that as far as I know, all of them are grown, and they will sort it out. They will sort it out. I don't know why it is I'm being drawn into it, because it has nothing to do with me. I was not in the meetings and in the back rooms when the deals were being made. I was not privy to any of the discussions. I never went to any meetings where anything associated with citizenship by investment was being discussed. So all who have cocoa or sun must be concerned when rain come. I don't have any cocoa in the sun. Because my deal with MSR was about movie making in Nevis. And MSR made the movies that we agreed they would make. I don't know anything about CBI and what was promised and what was not promised and what was delivered and what was not delivered. So that will be a matter for MSR and Dr. Harris and Les Can and whoever else that find themselves now in some kind of confusion. I and my office are not involved in that. But I'll tell you this, that I've heard some suggestion that I am somehow the one pushing this, so I am involved somehow in this litigation and all of that. It is not so. I have nothing to do with it. If litigation is going to erupt, then that litigation will be based on whatever deals were made and whatever deals went wrong. I was not party to any deals. And you hear what I said, and I want this to be recorded. I was not privy to any discussion or be a part of any negotiation in any way, shape, or form in relation to whatever transpired between MSR and Dr. Harris and his government. I engaged with MSR at the NIA level to do some movies in Nevis. And that, I think, was a resounding success. Beyond that, I really don't have anything to say except that I, like the nation, I'm looking on. Because whatever arrangements were made, whatever deals were made, and whatever allegations are now being made, the best people to speak to that are the people who are in the room. And I wasn't there. So it will be for MSR and its people, and Mr. Harris and his people, to work out whatever it is. As I said, they're all grown, and I believe they will be all right. I am focused on Nevis, moving Nevis forward. I remain committed to a relationship with MSR to make movies. They had talked about building a studio. If they're still interested, I'm absolutely committed to that. I have nothing but good things to say about Mr. Martinez because, unlike a lot of others who come and promise and don't deliver, he said what he would do and he did what he said. But once he crossed the Narrows and went to Bastia, that was outside my jurisdiction. And I don't know about his dealings in St. Kitts. That never involved me or involved the NIA. So I want to make that very clear. I don't even know why my name is being included. I believe whatever they're doing doesn't involve me because, as I said, I wasn't privy to their discussions, their negotiations. I have never seen a letter that has come to say this or that. I supported MSR. I still support MSR in terms of what they were doing. And I supported the idea that you could use movies and get financing through the CBI if that were possible. Definitely, because I saw what the movie industry could do, starting as it did right here in Nevis. I really anticipated that this thing could be developed. But you see, there were people who, as I said, were not interested in movies or in MSR. They were interested in taking it from Nevis. They didn't want to.
Anyway, as you can hear, Premier Brantley is saying that he did not know why his name is involved because he wasn't there in any meetings. You all remember the conversation between the police officer and Lindsey Grant? I understand Lindsey Grant was convicted on 3 charges and he paid a small fee of $1,500 per charge. And that's it, a slap on the wrist, while poor people get knocked out and thrown in prison for years for less than that. Anyway, remember that General Powell had told me he was not even at the venue. Remember, Sean was saying his name should not be in any letters because he was not a part of the conversation. Well, I hope this is not the case with Premier Brantley, because he seems to have a habit of getting involved in these tricksters business and say it wasn't me, it was them. I was not there. So Premier Brantley, I hope you could get yourself out of this one, you know, because information have a way to find the right places. So whatever is going on, if it's one thing I sure about Premier Brantley, is back during the lockdown during COVID, I heard you bragging at your press conference that you brought a movie company to Nevis to make movies. So whatever happened in this whole matter is you light the fire, you know. You hear me, Premier Brantley? Whatever is going on with this individual and Timothy Harris, or the former Attorney General, is you start the fire. Because I understand this individual was thrown out of Barbados, and you was in the slips and you took the catch and bring them across to Nevis. The thing that bothered me most, why I cannot get it. I don't understand why the division does not get it. During COVID, during the lockdown, every one of you in government and civil servants got your full salary. Everybody else wasn't getting nothing, not a dime. You all do stimulus package after stimulus package, and that stimulus still did not reach the poor people. The man who didn't have a job, the man that was not benefiting, the single parents with kids out there, the little girls and boys in the village of St. Paul's and Cotton Ground and wherever, Zion, didn't get a thing. But you, Premier Brantley, sight fit to negotiate, according to what I'm hearing, some $150,000 a month to give to individuals when people locked down cannot get a day pay, struggling to pay their bills, but you sight fit to negotiate $150,000 per month for this individual. It just does not add up. And I do not understand why the division people see it fit to support your nonsense. Everything that have come around is chaos. Sometimes I feel sorry for you. I want to come here on a Wednesday night and talk about the good things that you are trying to do. But you continue lying, lie after lie. So I can't get away out from you. Just do something right. Just tell the truth. Give me something to talk good about. That is what I want to do. Help me to help you, Premier Brantley. You know, and the other situation is, you know, I am speaking to the divisions about standing up to you, about protesting, about highlighting what is happening, because unless you guys go hit the streets in Nevis, unless you guys create some kind of awareness in Nevis, then people are embarrassed in hearing how, you know. Prime Minister Drew and the AG and the Governor General and them, they're down there, they're having apple cider, you know, and champagne. And God knows what else they're down there eating and drinking. They're not hearing you all up there unless you make some kind of mess up there, you know. I'm going to play a clip here, you know, and I'm going to play this clip to remind you, divisions, that when the former Prime Minister Timothy Harris, when Douglas got rid of him after being a part of the Labour administration for 18 years, and Timothy Harris decided he wanted it now, there was a CARICOM meeting in St. Vincent where Timothy went across there, I understand, and had people protesting and don't even know what they were protesting for, you know. I understand he went across there and was able to get people in St. Vincent to protest and not knowing what they're protesting for. And if I am lying from the newscaster in St. Vincent. So take a listen for you yourself. So if Timothy could go across to St. Vincent and get Vincentian to protest on behalf of St. Kitts Nevis, not knowing what the issues are, well, how come you all right there in Nevis? You all know what the issues are and are you afraid to hit the street? Are you only good to come behind your keyboard and social media and chat nonsense? Attacking DJ Morrishaw, attacking the people that is representing you all, that is fighting for you all. But you all don't want to stand up in front of Premier Brantley and his team to let them know you all are dissatisfied. Well, guess what? No matter what you all do, I say you all ain't gonna stop me, you know, because I'm bringing truth to power. So let's take a listen to the announcer from St. Vincent.
Well, while CARICOM leaders were at the Bookament Bay Resort discussing a series of matters pertinent to Caribbean development and integration, a peaceful protest was being staged less than a mile away to bring attention to the political impasse in St. Kitts Nevis. However, in an interesting twist, some of the protesters were clueless as to why they were picketing. More in this report by Jamisha Wright.
You're all locals, right? You're all intentions. Yes. Tell us why you're out here today. You're hiding your face with the placard.
Oh, sorry.
Tell us why you're out here today.
I'm out here to demonstrate for SYNCITs.
Why you see the need to lend such a support to SYNCIT?
Because they are very important, and we are all one country.
Tell us, why are you out here today?
Well, I can't even say why really, because I didn't know it was this thing. I just think it was just a normal meeting. But anyhow, never mind, I come still and enjoying myself. And it's so good to be out here looking at the platform and everything and demonstrating with SYNCIT Nevis. I don't know what is the problem really, but I just come and support it still.
All right. How about you? You lending some support to SYNCIT Nevis?
I don't know.
You carrying a placard that says free SYNCIT Nevis.
Yes, I'm here to free SYNCIT Nevis. We are one Caribbean people.
All right. How about you?
I'm here in support of SYNCIT Nevis because we're all one Caribbean community, and we have a minority government ruling SYNCIT Nevis, and I think that the majority should be given the chance to run SYNCIT Nevis.
So that's 2015. Timothy Harris went across to St. Vincent and was able to get foreigners. Some of them never even been to St. Kitts. They do not know what's going on in St. Kitts, but they're there to protest against the then Labour administration led by Dr. Denzel Douglas, Prime Minister. This is what we have. You got people right there in Nevis. Like I said earlier, my boy Carlisle Powell, Kelvin Daly, Tulu, Henry Daniel, they're telling me that they was happy that Patricia Bartlett, Sister Pat Bartlett, ended up down at the NIA where they was doing the amendments to the Freedom of Information or Public Integrity, whatever it was. They're happy she went by herself. It looked good. How do I ask, could that look good? How could you have 12, 13,000 people live in Nevis, reside in Nevis, and one person go down there to stand up for the whole island? How could that look good? That does not add up. I want you to hear me partner Kelvin for himself.
On Tuesday, let me see if I get the video, the thing here now. On Tuesday of this week, we had the second and third reading of the Integrity in Public Life Amendments for the Nevis Ordinance, Integrity in Public Life Ordinance 2023. There were three major amendments. You are more familiar with Amendment 1, but there were others. Now we await the gazetting, the approval by the Governor General, and then gazetting of the bill to make it law. But in the meantime, we are free to discuss. We will not see the final draft until it's published in the Gazette. But what we know is this, that Dr. Pat Bartlett was down there by her lonesome, and I applaud her.
Yes, yes.
Demonstrating in her conscience that what is happening is untoward, is unconscionable, is undemocratic. And like I said on Thursday evening, I'm glad she went alone. I'm glad nobody else went with her. Because it would have taken away, in my view, the power.
Her steeliness.
I'm telling you.
Her steeliness.
Very few people would have the kind of gum, as my father would describe it.
Yes.
To go out there and face this government by themselves. And so I applaud.
Full marks.
I applaud our Dr. Patricia Bartlett. She's a true soldier. And this is the kind of representation you want in Parliament. And if personally Dr. Bartlett had been in the federal Parliament, when all of this nonsense about fair share, we would have gotten our fair share by now. I worked with her for a number of years, and I can tell you, she's not a pushover. You understand? I said that with all respect. she ain't going to let you to get away with nothing if it comes to harming her, her people, her community, and her island. Okay, understand? So I'm glad she went. But let us look.
You know, Brother Daly, Brother Hensley, you guys I respect and love. Okay. And I do not know if I should be disappointed, confused. I do not know what I'm supposed to feel when I'm listening to you two guys chanting and supporting each other nonsense. This reminds me of when the new health minister went into the NIA assembly with her receipts, talking about how much money was spent on the hospital wing. And the entire CCM cabinet, including the premier, in the back chanting, supporting her, knowing that what she's saying was not so. The previous health minister spoke about some millions that was spent, whether 14, 19 million that was spent a few months earlier. She gone in there talking about 8 millions. Didn't know the numbers was wrong, but they chanting. Are you guys trying to save face because you all did not show up down there, make the time to show up? Well, I'm telling you all, you all failed this class. You all failed this subject. You all should not be waiting for Pat to tell you all she going down there. You all should have gone down there on your own. You all should have ended up butting up on each other down there. Every one of you on those talk shows. Every one of you on those talk shows. As a matter of fact, even Sister Cleon should have been down there because she represents Nevis. That's what she said she's doing. She not representing NRP. She represented Nevis. And as an attorney and someone that's supposed to have common sense, every one of you should have found your all ass down there. Nobody should have to call you all. And what I'm even more disappointed in is that you guys have your bully pulpit weekly, twice a week. You have Tell Me on a Thursday evening from 8 to 10. You got the On Target on a Saturday evening from 1 to 3. And instead of you all mobilize you all people to come out and demonstrate and put pressure on Premier Brantley to do the right thing and stop squandering the people's money, you all say that you all happy the people not sure. You all happy that patch up by yourself. That is bullshit. That is ludicrous. That is nonsense, Brother Daly. If you guys want to continue doing a talk show or a program, you all must be able to motivate the people to come out and stand up to this kind of behavior from Premier Brantley or any other politician on a whole. Any politician are going to be doing what Premier Brantley is doing to Nevis must be met with some kind of resistance. All of you need to be held accountable. I wish I could have given you all a charge. As a matter of fact, all you need to go buy carbon and put $50 on the counter till I get there. Every one of you. Carlisle, Tulu, Kelvin, Hensley, Janice Daniel, JD Keynes, Rohan Isles, all of you need to go buy carbon. Put a $50 on the counter. Tell Carbo that Morrishaw charge you all for failing to fulfill your all duty. We'll take care of that when I get there. That's your all sentence, a small fee. Since Lindsay only pay $1,500 and he do a bigger damage, you all damage, I'm gonna sentence you all to $50 a piece. Go up by carbon on the weekend and drop your all money there. If you all can't do that, I can't support your all stupidness. This is stupidness. When you are going to talk about you all glad on the Pat alone shop down there, that's nonsense. Let's continue listening to Daly.
Look at the outcome from that debate, so-called debate in Parliament. All right, the outcome, as I understand it right now, is that the government has blinked, rather than allowing the Premier to choose the legislation. That amendment has been tweaked to say that the first shot at the cherry will go to those two opposition members, who among them must be able to choose somebody. If they're unable to choose somebody, then the Premier, with advice from the Governor General, Deputy Governor General, would pick. Right? So the Premier basically got advise the Governor General of his pick. So the Premier basically will have two shots. If our two opposition members cannot come up with a single person to fill that slot. The other two amendments to me are just as important. One is that the term limits, they have moved it from 5 years to 3 years.
It's bad.
And the second one was that you no longer have to provide any attending documentation to your submission. And so no bank statements, no COTs, nothing. Just to swear that what you have presented to the commissioners is indeed true. That's all.
That's foolishness.
Absolute foolishness, recklessness.
Rubbish. That's lunacy.
No, there's a reason for it.
But it's lunacy.
But it is lunacy.
You are in an environment where you have to protect yourself from all kinds of fraudsters. And you're saying that if you, Eugene Weeks, go to the bank and say that you have $50,000 about National Bank in declaring your assets, you don't have to bring any proof of that money?
If I am involved
documents?
If I am involved in fraud, or I am involved in committing crime, and I am also charged with the responsibility to formulate policies to fight crime, I am going to put anybody inside there who is going to really fight crime that's going to lock me up. I want personnel who are going to defend me.
Maybe you're correct, because the general argument is that the test of a law is, can you trust it in the hand of the enemy or your opponent? But the other question, Kelly, is the term limit. By the time you get all the documents ready, and I think Mr. Tyrrell was here, and he was giving a sense of how the nature of how many things you have to go through to get to the thing. You were saying, or you were making the point about you were trying to add your son's name to an account and the kind of the long list of things. And you're saying to us that only 3 years you have to sit on a commission, when in fact you know what this is? In case you find anybody in the government. So it's reasonable to assume that if you find somebody in the government who comes up for questioning, well, after 3 years you change them. You shift gear. Minimum of 5 to 7 years. So that the thing must have some level of stability. I am in favor of a longer period than the term of government, because when the government changes, it doesn't mean that the investigation stops.
So that is a conversation between Brother Daly, Tulu, and Hensley on Saturday, and the program tells me. And like I said, these guys, they prosecute the matter well. They on target with the wrongs that has been taking place on Nevis, the premier not doing what he need to do, but getting his salary and all of this good stuff. But that effort, that political action that is required, the feet on the ground, the boots on the ground, is missing from that aspect. You know, I had two gentlemen I spoke to during the Get Rid of Them campaign back for the federal government, you know. And when I spoke with them, I think they're from Nevis as well, you know, their families from Nevis, Ira McMahon and Dr. Martin there. They said, I am too militant. I was too militant. They're not into the demonstrating on the street. They just want to be writing letters and talk on radio. Them days, they're not going to work with Premier Brantley. This is a different ball of wax. We need boots on the ground. The people have to come and show Premier Brantley that they are dissatisfied with him. Otherwise, he's going to continue doing the things they're doing. Even my partner here now, Brother Carlisle Powell, saying the same nonsense, you know.
I must tell you that I just wish that Dr. Bartlett had told me that she was going down there to protest, because I would have gone to.
You know what? I thought about it long and hard. And I'm glad nobody went with her. I'm happy that she stood and showed the people of Nevis the metal she's made out of. That she's willing to stand there by herself and face this by herself, rather than have a crowd around her. She is the minister in waiting for St. John's. And she has demonstrated through the singular action that she's ready for prime time. That she is ready for prime time. If persons had gone there, in my estimation, the crowd would look good, but it would have diluted the effect that she is ready for prime time. Because people are seeing the crowd and not seeing her in particular.
You have a point.
And so I am glad she put on her shoes and her clothes, and she walked with a placard, and she went and she stood to face this giant by herself.
I do not know how much she listened and admire Mr. Mandela, but this is one of the things Mandela said, exactly what she did. As a leader, there are times that you have to step out on a road all by yourself, convinced that you are correct. Go along with you by yourself. Eventually, others are going to come along, catch you up on the road and join you. And I think that is exactly what Mandela did, how she did her life, and I admire her for what she did. But if I had known, I would have been there too.
I would have gone too.
Now, this is the bullshit I don't understand. Brother Powell, Brother Daly, Brother Tulu, I should not have to tell you all. She going down to the NIA assembly to protest. You all should have been leading the charge. You all lead it on a Thursday evening. I know you guys going to be on tomorrow evening. Tell me, a very lovely program from 8 p.m. till 10. You all tell us all the wrong. You all prosecute the case well. But you all dropped the ball when you all did not shove down at the NIA assembly. Pat should not have to tell you all she going there. You all should have gone there on your own. All you should have bunks up down there. So don't let it happen again. You got December 5th. Mobilize. Get all your backside down there. And let's show Premier Brantley that we mean business. You know, I wonder if I ever realize that I got an hour and 5 minutes overtime, and I'm not taking much more than that. Not tonight, you know, ever. Not much more than that. So, for all the folks out there online, don't forget this year's Sugar Mass. And Dwyer don't like to see the bottom in the road. So we're not going to give Dwyer a bottom in the road. We're going to have a banner jam. So I reach out to my boy over in the Virgin Islands, and I ask him if he could send me some banners across to St. Kitts for Sugar Mass 52. So Dr. Bird, send me this strap and say I must drop this one for you, the online viewership. Sister Hazel Claxton, Naomi Ward, Rosita Pontin, Ivy Carty, all of you lovely ladies online. Sister Cora Bennett, this one for you.
Let's roll it.
Let's roll it.
Caribbean women, I was told, have the biggest banners in the world. From Jamaica to Trinidad, the banners will drive you mad. Talking about banner, big, big banner. Women like dirt, sporting pants, no skirts, exposing banner, big, big banner. So this year, I work out a plan to hold a big banner jam. Don't forget, this year banner jam. Bring your banner and roll it back in the band. Small banner, big banner, all banner, young banner. Come on up, come and play. All them ladies go with it, with a banner, all kind of banner. To jam, 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 jam. I don't know why they're so. Think that all the doctors and them should know. So could you please explain what you inject in the vein to produce banner, big, big banner? Or is the food that they eat, or the men them so sweet? Give them banner, big, big banner. Put me on the track, I would like to know. Come on and tell me that. Don't forget this here banana jam. Bring your banana and roll it back in the van. Small banana, big banana, all banana, young banana. Come on now, come and play. All them ladies go be there with a banana, all kind of banana. To jam, 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 jam. Stateside girls, come here. Looking like the banana disappear. But if they stay a year, it wouldn't reappear. Talking about banana, big, big banana. And you won't believe the size they achieve. Talking about banana, big, big banana. So ladies, please, if you want a big one, come to the Caribbean. Don't forget this here banana jam. Bring your banana and roll it back in the van. Small banana, big banana, all banana, young banana. Come on now, come and play. All them ladies go be there with a banana, all kind of banana. You jam, 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 jam. I know this girl from St. Croix. Where she banana shape friends, I won't lie. It's so big and round till he almost touch the ground. That is banana, big, big banana. She got the men going wild. Now that banana is in style. Talking about banana, big, big banana. She looking good anytime and any place. I would like to get a taste. Don't forget this here banana jam. Bring your banana and roll it back in the van. Small banana, big banana, all banana, young banana. Come on now, come and play. All them ladies go with it, with a banana, all kind of banana. You jam, 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 jam.
Yes, sounds of the man, the king, Dr. Bernard Liebert. That one is called Banana Jam. We mixed from back in the days. You know, the girl from St. Croix is Lioness Charles. She got banana when she come on the Gaza. Them man go crazy, want to try a thing, and Lioness just do she thing and wheel and come again. So I want to say special good night to Sister Linda. How you doing? Sister Lynn, how you doing? Hope all is well. This one is for my boy Thaddeus. Thaddeus love to try things. I see him in St. Kitts trying some things not too long ago. But Thaddeus is a good kid. He's a good kid. Well, Thaddeus!
Try a thing your motto from today. If you ain't try a thing, you ain't gonna get nowhere. Give it a try, you see you walk. It gonna bring you plenty luck. Competition tight all over the place. And if you ain't try a thing, you ain't gonna get nothing. Listen, when you go out to bed, try a thing. Don't know what you might get. Try a thing. Don't stay there sitting, get up and start trying. If it's a big fat thing, what you do? Try a thing. If it's a skinny thing, if it's a pretty thing, what you do? Try a thing. When you like something, you got to try a thing. try a thing again. No two things come alike. Next time, boy, you might strike. Don't ever play it cool. If you enjoy a thing, you are a damn fool. You, when you go to bed, don't know what you might get. Try again. Don't be there sitting. Get up and start trying. If it's a nice white thing, what you do? Try again. If it's a nice black thing, what you do? Try again. If it's a Chinese thing, what you do? Try again. If it's an anti-man thing, tell me. Don't try nothing.
Obama, you say it's legal.
From the time I small, I never afraid. I've been trying things from in first grade. I still got me appetite, trying things every night. It's pretty women I like to choose. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. When you go to bed, try a thing. Don't know what you might get, try a thing. Don't be there sitting, get up and start trying. If it's an American thing, what to do? Try a thing. If it's a West Indian thing, what to do? Try a thing. If it's a Puerto Rican thing, what you do? Try a thing. If it's a Marica thing, mira, no puedes la cosa. No puedes la cosa. If it's a big bad thing, what you do? Try a thing. If it's a skinny thing, what you do? Try a thing. If it's a pretty thing, what you do? Try a thing. You might get something if you try a thing. If it's Baptist thing, thing.
Songs of the man, Dr. Bernard Leiber, that one is called Try a Thing. And believe me, we have tried several things over the years. But right now, where we are right now, we are out of time. And we're going to call it a night for this week, you know. I know for some of you folks, you called me and tell me when I sign off, you got nothing else to do, you're just lying and watching the roof. Go find a pack of cards and come backwards on the cards, them, all right? Sister Annette Morton, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Sister Loretta there over at the Culture Bar in Nevis. Brother, his name is there, Mikey Slack. Hope all is well. The man Cabo, Patrice Nisbet. Brother Cozier, how are you doing? The man Glendale Herbert. Just want to thank all you folks online that continues to log on and keep this program live and lively. I want to thank Sister Queen Singing Jackie for popping in this evening and give us some of her lovely tracks for Sugar Mass 52. And I also want to thank her husband there, the man Morris Leader, for making that possible. Well, you know, we're going to drop a track right about now. This one is called Arise by the late, great, the King Arrow. Listen to the lyrics. I know the music is sweet, but please listen to the lyrics and let's learn from our mistakes. Let's understand that we are here not just to take what our foreparents or our slaves, family, that get knocked out to make life good for us. Let's leave a place for the future of the kids to come. Don't just think about yourself and forget about you have to leave something, eh? So my good people of St. Kitts Nevis, it's that time that I have to call it a night. And we're gonna drop this track. I want to say good night to Sister Tracy Powell. Hope all is well with you. Tracy Jeffords. And Sister Nesta. Hope all is well with you. How about Patsy? Hope all is good with you guys. We're gonna drop this track by the late great, the King Arrow. I want to also big up Sister Laura Williams, the man Aston Williams, Julian Pemberton, the man Luda Kelly. Hope all is well with you. Yes, that's the sound of the late great King Aaron that bring us to a close this evening. Here I want to wish Brother Thaddeus Deposaur a safe journey down under. Enjoy yourself, my brother. Look forward to having you back safe. Also want to say good night to Sister Joycelyn. Hope all is well with you wherever you may be. I know you travel around the globe. Sister Haley Tennant over there in Scotland. Hope you guys enjoying yourselves as well. Always the kids. Want to big up my boy Twinkie. How you doing, brother Twinkie? Sister Catherine, Louise, and the Kudia, brother Mole, the man Sugars. How are you and the kids doing? Don't forget, as the carnival season approaches, support businesses that support you. Don't forget to check out my cousin there, Gloria, over there at the Smart Fit, located in the old Simaco building right there on Central Street, right next to Skelec, for all of your goodies to go to your shows and your partying and whatever. She's fully equipped to outfit you for any occasion. There's also a store there on Cairn Street, right across from 4th Street, by the gas station there. Feel free to let Gloria know DJ Morrishaw sent you. And while you're in the Federation, don't forget to check out my boys at the Spratnet in Old Road. My partner Gijo's there, up Station Street in Old Road as well. My boy Buddy, right there in Newton Ground, right off the main road. Get your goat water and your cook up and thing. Also my boy, the man Ras over there in Passing Ground. You get your cook up and your goat water and bullfoot. On Saturdays, Fridays and Saturdays, check him out. Tell him DJ Morrishaw sent you. That's back street there in Passing Ground. Also, you can check out Run It Bar up Lovers Lane there in Taba. Tell Sister Ilo, DJ Morrishaw sent you. Want to big up the man Green. The main Green, the Mighty Pact, the man King Freddy, who all will be vying for a spot for the finals there for Sugar Mass 52. Calypso. Sister Queen Singing Jackie says she look forward to taking them down on elimination night. So let's see. We're going to pack the bigger punch and what will happen on elimination night. I understand there's about 40-something Calypsonians and they're only going to receive 8 out of that. So that's going to be a lot of work there for those judges. So I wish them luck with that. I also want to big up my boy there. Don't forget to support Brother Michael Clark there at the Jamrock restaurant there in Frigate Bay. Lovely dinners, lunch and dinners there. Check out my boy Mike. Tell him DJ Morrishaw sent you. Also up the hill, you got my boy there. Brother Marshall's, lovely food as well. Check them out. And then you go down to the Bayfront. You check out my boy Gijo. The geezer there. Lovely barbecue, pigtail barbecue, rib barbecue, pork, everything you can think about, you can put on a grill. My boy Gijo will take care of you. And don't forget to check my girl, Carmen, catering service. Currently, she is located right across the street at Shirley in the first booth, next to the ferry terminal in Bastia, the West Side Ferry Terminal. Check her out, tell her DJ Morrishaw sent you. And currently, she also sells food right in Boyd's Village across from the Agara shop on a Sunday. Very tasty food, very good job. As we get ready to kick off Sugar Mass in St. Kitts, I'm pretty sure you guys will have a choice of vendors. So whenever you walk the street, you just try and ask for Carmen. Lovely lady, tell her DJ Morrishaw sent you. Until such time that we meet again, I want to say good night to Brother Kelvin Hanley. Hope all is good with you. My boy, the Cabo, hope all is well. I hope you have your goat water organized and everything, because you know the people coming down, they're coming to get a taste of the Cabo delicatessen, goat water, fish and fungi, fish and green banana, the order of the day. I hope Freddie is not down there eating up everything. In the meantime and between time, my good people, God blessings on everyone. Have a good night rest, and I look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday. Same place, same time, 6 p.m. St. Kitts Nevis time, 5 p.m. New York time. Sister Kit, Hazel, hope all is well. Stay safe.